Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Planting Trees for All, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Chapter 1. Dear players, welcome to the Divine Tree game. You will have your own island, plant sacred trees, and resist the invasion of the Grey World. Before starting the game, you can choose 3 different talents on the talent page. Talent will affect the attributes of the sacred tree. Lu Shu opened his eyes and found that his soul was floating in the endless starry sky. Following the system prompts, he quickly recognized that this was the talent selection page. Am I chosen to be the Divine Tree Master? Lu Shu opened his eyes slightly and murmured softly. He was not ignorant of his surroundings. Absorb the memories after time travel. Lu Shu knew that the world he traveled to encountered an invasion from the Grey World, and the world changed drastically. Billions of people came to the alien space and became Divine Tree Masters to increase their strength by planting sacred trees. The sacred tree can give birth to various magical items and fruits. Kung Fu, supernatural fruits, and weapons that appear in various novels, animations, and games can all be produced through the sacred tree. However, depending on the talent of the sacred tree master, the corresponding sacred tree will also have different attributes. To put it simply, before the game starts, look at your face. If you pick up a rubbish talent, you will probably die very quickly. Lu Shu suddenly realized that there must be monsters in the Grey World, otherwise the system prompt would not use the words, resist the invasion of the Grey World. If his strength cannot keep up with the level of the monsters in the Grey World, the result he will face is likely to be die. Thinking of this, Lu Shu immediately floated to the sea of stars and made a talent selection. When approaching a small purple light group, suddenly, a prompt appeared in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Fruitful, level E, can grow abundant fruits. He was briefly stunned for 2 seconds. Lu Shu suddenly showed an expression of ecstasy. I can actually see talent prompts. He was certain that others would not be able to see this hint. Talent selection, everything depends on appearance. With the ability to see talent prompts, wouldn't it mean that you can have whatever talent you want? These floating starlight clusters are like your own harem, you can choose at will. Talent levels are divided into F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, SSS. Among them, grades F to E are rubbish talents, which can only give the sacred tree the most ordinary effects and cannot produce superpower fruits at all. Levels D to A can produce superpower fruits. The stronger the level, the more useful the fruits produced. As for S level and above, those are talents that can only be picked if you are very lucky, and the effects are extraordinary. As long as you have an S-level talent, you can basically take off. The SSS-level talent is a God-level talent. As long as you choose it, you will be the chosen Divine Tree Master. The abilities you can produce at will are as powerful as cheating. Lu Shu took a deep breath. He roams the stars in search of the best talent nearby. Star Sacred Tree S-level, it can condense star fruits, absorb the power of stars, and awaken the related abilities of the God-level profession, Astromancer. Lu Shu was a little excited. Astromancer is a God-level profession in the God Tree game. It is very powerful in terms of attack, basic attributes and skills, but it can only absorb the power of stars, which is too single. After thinking about it for a while, I gave up decisively. After a while, Lu Shu found another group of high-level talent stars. Magic Weapon Iron Tree SS level, your sacred tree can produce magical weapons from all realms, such as Tianwen, Dragon Slaying Sword, Demon Sword Muramasa, X Curry Stick. Lu Shu looked a little excited. The names of these divine weapons from all realms are very familiar, they are all divine weapons. However, Lu Shu thought about it and still had no choice. A handful of divine weapons is enough. Producing so many divine weapons is simply a waste, unless you have the talent of Senju Guanyin. However, as a Divine Tree Master, this talent is useless. The price-performance ratio was so great that Lu Shu also chose to give up. Floating towards the depths of the stars, a golden ball of light appeared in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Intuition told Lu Shu that this golden star definitely contained considerable talent. As he got closer, the prompt that appeared made his eyes light up. 100 times increase SSS level, absorption of sunlight x 100, growth speed x 100, production speed x 100. You are the one. Lu Shu chose 100-fold increase without hesitation. The sacred tree, in addition to producing, also needs to grow. At the beginning, the sacred tree master can only get a small sapling. At this time, the productivity is very low, the items produced have average effects, and they will not gain strong abilities. However, if there is a 100-fold increase, your sacred tree will have a 100-fold growth rate and a 100-fold productivity. It will be able to get through the early stage more quickly, and the later growth will not be sluggish. As expected of an SSS-level talent, it's really powerful. Lu Shu smiled in her heart and decided to take the remaining 2 talent positions except SSS-level. Float for a while. Found another SSS-level talent. Manji fruit SSS-level, your tree can grow devil fruit, kung fu fruit, aura fruit, life fruit. This is too strong. The moment Lu Shu saw the prompt, her heart beat faster. The fruit of all realms. Can give birth to all kinds of superpower fruits. Just as far as devil fruit is concerned, Lu Shu only knows shock fruit, sparkling fruit, phoenix fruit. It's simply outrageous. The fruits of kung fu can also be used to cultivate immortality. With the fruits of spiritual energy, becoming an immortal is no problem. The fruit of life can give birth to creatures from all realms, such as Pikachu, Karakura, elves. Maybe Lu Shu won't need to play in person in the future, he just needs to be at the back of the battlefield and let the pets born from the fruit of life fight. Got it. The fruit of all realms combined with the 100-fold increase, this is simply invincible. Lu Shu thought of his sacred tree. If it had 100 times growth rate and 100 times production rate, coupled with the talent of the fruit of all realms, it would be described as invincible. Next, there is an SSS-level talent. After a period of searching, using the remaining time, Lu Shu finally finalized the last talent. Spring Revival SSS-level. When you bury the fruits produced underground, additional fruit trees will be born, and the number of fruits harvested next spring will be x 100. The resurgence of spring is equivalent to me being able to bury the fruit in the ground and grow a subspecies of sacred tree. The subspecies of the divine tree only produces one kind of fruit, but each growth cycle can produce 100 fruits. Not only can it be used by myself, but it can also be used by my elves. If you hatch enough life fruits, plant them, and let a large army to push back the gray world, that's it. How could Lu Shu's real development direction be to fight on his own? The gray world doesn't sound like a good thing at first glance. Who knows what kind of monsters there will be in it? Maybe if you violate the rules of the gray world, no matter how strong you are, you will die. Therefore, Lu Shu's safest way is to train all pets into the most powerful beings and enter the gray world to fight on his behalf. At this time, you need more fruits. After choosing your talent, a burst of light fell on Lu Shu. The sacred tree game has begun. Welcome to the Divine Tree Floating Island. All Divine Tree Masters, please read the following rules. 1. The floating island is divided into day and night. The sacred tree needs to absorb sunlight to grow. 2. Every once in a while, the Divine Tree Master will encounter an invasion from the gray world, please be careful. 3. The Divine Tree Master can take the initiative to enter the gray world, where there are endless opportunities and items. The premise is that he can come out of the gray world alive. 4. Any items produced by the sacred tree in Gray Realm can be exchanged in the transaction panel, but be careful of being cheated. 5. If you have traveled through the Gray World and found other sacred tree masters, congratulations. You can choose to form an alliance with other sacred tree masters, or you can choose to kill each other to obtain the territory of their floating island and sacred tree, and you can move back and forth between the two places. 6. Floating Island will regularly conduct phase boss tests. For those Divine Tree Masters who pass the test, Floating Island will rise to a higher level and face new challenges and opportunities. 7. The last surviving Divine Tree Master will become a god. I wish you all good luck. Lu Shu came to her senses. In front of me, a set nickname panel appeared. Lu Shu thought for a while and entered Shuren on it. Dear player, Shuren, no one has registered your nickname yet, but it has been reviewed. Looking around, there is a brand new scene in front of me. Grassland, cabin, sunlight, islands. However, the view looks into the distance. The island is surrounded by a layer of gray fog. There is the terrifying gray world. The gray realm surrounded the sacred tree island, cutting off everything. In this world, everyone has become an island. Am I going to eat grass next? Lu Shu looked around and couldn't help but complain. There is no water source, no living things nearby, and no excess vegetation except grass. System. Lu Shu said something silently in her heart. Immediately afterwards, several options popped up. Personal information, world public screen, trading platform, gray world map, warehouse. Open, personal information. In addition to the highlighted character, sacred tree, spiritual pet, and sacred weapon are all dark and have not been unlocked. In this case, Lu Shu first chooses to view people. Divine Tree Master. Tree Raider. Power. None. Training level. None. Talents. 100 times increase SSS level, Fruit of All Realms, SSS level, Spring Resurgence, SSS level. Luck. E. Spirit. E. Divine Tree. 0 seeds not sown. Tip. Please ask the Sacred Tree Master to open the warehouse as soon as possible and select the Sacred Tree seeds for sowing. Lu Shu immediately followed the prompts and opened the warehouse. There is only one item inside. Sacred Tree Seed. With a thought, a seed filled with divine light appeared in Lu Shu's palm. It also feels a little refreshing. Lu Shu swept around and walked towards the center of the island. After the sacred tree grows up, it can support the water and soil in all directions. When the time comes, the island will also be blessed by the sacred tree, so it is best to plant it in the middle. Arrive at your destination. Lu Shu gently leaned down and buried the sacred tree seeds in the soil. Buzz. A strange sound came. The golden sunshine is like an angel's blessing, landing on the seeds. In a blink, a small sapling sprouted from the ground. Although it is only in the form of a small sapling, the leaves are flowing with brilliance, as if they contain divinity. At this moment, a new Sacred Tree information panel appeared in front of Lu Shu. Sacred Tree. Stage. Sapling. Sunlight. 120 per day, 1.2x 100. Aura. 100 per day, 1.0x 100. Remaining capacity of subspecies Spirit Tree, 1. Product. Aura Fruit. Production cycle. 2.5 days, 251 hundredths equals 2.5. Growth points. 2.2x 100 equals 220 per day. Next stage. Spirit Tree, 600 growth points. It is indeed a 100-fold increase. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. Originally, if it was just the most ordinary Divine Tree Master, the maximum growth points it could achieve in a day would be 2.2. To cultivate a sapling into a spiritual tree, you need 600 growth points. Normally it takes more than a year to cultivate a sapling. This is still under the condition that the sunlight and aura of the floating island have amplifying properties. However, after possessing a 100-fold increase, Lu Shu only needs to sit quietly for 2 days to grow into a spiritual tree. Besides, aura fruit, it should be related to cultivating immortals, right? After sowing the seeds, Lu Shu was embarrassed to find that she didn't seem to have to do anything. Just lie down and that's it. Anyway, the sacred tree will grow on its own. Taking advantage of this waiting time, Lu Shu opened the World Public screen. On the public channel, chat messages from other players pop up constantly. Brothers, do you have a water source there? The sun is so bright here, sister, I'm going to get dehydrated. Ah, I'm so hungry. Where can I find food? I'm going to starve to death. It will take hundreds of days for the sacred tree to mature. What the hell is going on in this game? We're not just going to starve to death like this, are we? Hehehe, luckily I chose the talent of fruit specialist. Even small saplings can produce fruits. I only need to wait a few days for the fruits to be eaten. The African chief expressed his envy to those upstairs. I worship Emperor O for awakening such a great talent. I have awakened an S-level talent, but it has nothing to do with the fruit. Is it possible that I will starve to death before the sacred tree is planted? Those in Versailles like the one above should be beaten to death. Oh no, they should starve to death as soon as possible. In the chat box, there was a sound of wailing and moaning. Many sacred tree masters who do not have talents related to awakening fruits may have to wait until the saplings grow into spiritual trees before they can bear fruits. Lu Shu thought of the fruit of all realms she had awakened, which was considered a fruit talent. Spirit fruits could be born when saplings grew. There is no need to worry about food sources at all. All you have to do is wait quietly where you are. Boom! Suddenly, there was a burst of thunder from the sky. It's raining heavily. The other sacred tree masters thanked each other in the chat group. At least, after a heavy rain, there is a water source to ensure that everyone will not die of thirst in the next few days. Your sapling has absorbed the rainwater and has +1 growth points. Your sapling has absorbed the rainwater and has +1 growth points. Lu Shu suddenly saw an extra line of small blue words, absorbing water, in the status bar of Sacred Tree. At the same time, the growth rate has also temporarily changed, 3.2x 100 equals 320 per day. The sunlight, spiritual energy, and rain from the divine tree floating island all have a nourishing effect on the divine tree. And Lu Shu has awakened the heaven-defying talent that increases 100 times. Just by absorbing natural rainfall, her growth rate can be greatly increased. Lu Shu was also surprised to find a big basin in the cabin. He quickly took out the basin and collected the rainwater. In and out, in less than a minute. Just walking out of the wooden house, Lu Shu suddenly discovered that the sapling in the center of the island had grown a lot and turned into a small tree half a meter high. And under a branch, a crystal clear blue fruit grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ding! You have obtained a primary spiritual energy fruit. It turns out that rainwater can speed up the production and growth of the sacred tree. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. He immediately realized that all the resources on this island were related to the sacred tree. Sunlight, Reiki, rainwater, and all the items that may be obtained later. In contrast, rainwater is a rarer resource. Therefore, it can double the growth speed of the sacred tree. So inferring from this, maybe we can get resources that are scarcer than rain in the future. With the blessing of 100-fold increase, the growth rate of the sacred tree must be the same as that of a rocket. Lu Shu stepped forward. At this moment, the spiritual energy fruit is fully mature. And the product in Sacred Tree has been updated. Products: Kung Fu Fruit, Spiritual Energy Fruit. Production Cycle: 1.25 days 252 hundredths. Rain can double the production cycle of the sacred tree. Coupled with the SSS-Level talent of 100-fold increase, you only need to wait for 1 day for new fruits to be born. From the system, Lu Shu can easily guess that the next product will not only have spiritual energy fruits but also an additional skill. The capacity of my subspecies spiritual tree is only 1. The talent of Spring Resurrection allows you to bury fruits in the soil and give birth to a subspecies of spiritual tree that specializes in producing one kind of fruit, but can produce 100 of them in one growth cycle. However, the number of subspecies spiritual trees is limited, and this limitation may be based on the growth level of the divine tree itself. It is still in the form of a sapling, so there is only one location. Lu Shu thought for a moment and did not choose to take the spiritual energy fruit immediately. Instead, she chose to pick the fruit and bury it in the soil next to it. At this moment, a tree quickly rose from the ground after being moistened by the rain, and it even grew taller than the sacred tree. A new interface popped up in front of Lu Shu. Aura Fruit Tree. Variety: Subspecies Spirit Tree. Product: Aura Fruit. Period: 1.825 days 365 200ths. Production times remaining: 3. Originally, the production cycle of a subspecies spiritual tree took 1 year. But with the blessing of rain and 100-fold increase, fruits can be produced in less than 2 days. Awesome! Lu Shu looked at this scene and couldn't help but sigh in her heart. 100-fold increase plus fruit of all realms plus spring revival. The combination of these 3 SSS-level talents produces a heaven-defying effect. The rest just needs to wait. The next day. Lu Shu stretched out from the cabin and got up. After the heavy rain last night. This morning, the sun is exceptionally bright. Open World Public Screen. I'm so hungry. I drank all the rainwater yesterday and my stomach feels so uncomfortable. How long will it take for it to mature? If I don't have any fruit to eat, I will die. What the hell? What kind of cheating game is this? You're not going to let us die here, are you? If this continues, I will have to eat grass to survive. Fruit talent means being fearless. If you are hungry for a few days, you will have something to eat. At least you won't die. Gulu. Seeing messages from other players. Lu Shu couldn't help but feel hungry. Get out of the cabin. The sapling has grown as high as 2 meters. 2 crystal clear fruits are also produced from the branches and leaves. Ding! You have obtained a low-level spiritual skill, Ju Yuan Ju. Ding! You have obtained an intermediate spiritual energy fruit. It turns out to be an intermediate spiritual energy fruit. Lu Shu suddenly felt a little heartbroken. He did not expect that the products of this stage, although they were all spiritual energy fruits, were more advanced. If I had known earlier, I would have buried this intermediate spiritual energy fruit. But after thinking about it, it's actually not a big loss. After all, planting takes time. Sow early and reap early. If you can wait for the intermediate spiritual energy fruit, then you can wait for the high-level spiritual energy fruit, and maybe even the best spiritual energy fruit. If the party keeps waiting, can it wait until the next life? Moreover, Lu Shu realized that with so many spiritual energy fruits, there was no need to swallow them by himself. He could go to the transaction interface and exchange them for new items with other divine tree masters. Lu Shu picked the intermediate spiritual energy fruit first. Take one bite. The fragrant juice, with its fresh and tender sweetness, echoed in Lu Shu's mouth and entered her abdomen along the esophagus. Lu Shu suddenly felt that the spiritual energy seemed to moisturize her whole body at this moment, and her whole body fell into an endless ocean of happiness. Roaming wantonly. So cool. Lu Shu has never tasted such delicious fruit in her life. I can't tell what kind of fruit it tastes like. Only the heavenly flat peach can describe the taste of this fruit. After the entire Reiki fruit is consumed, Lu Shu felt that her whole body was full of strength. Fight hunger and be yourself. Not only did my physical strength recover instantly, but my brain became much clearer. Does this spiritual energy fruit have such a powerful effect? Lu Shu showed an unexpected expression. He picked off another skill fruit and swallowed it too. After the fruits of the exercise are eaten, in Lu Shu's mind, there is an additional technique called Ju Yuan Ju. At the same time, there is also a lot of knowledge about spiritual energy and immortality that is imprinted in the brain. I see. Lu Shu now understood that the spiritual energy contained in the spiritual energy fruit could be used for practice. Even ordinary people could increase their strength if they ate it. Of course, in order not to waste it, it is best to use exercises to introduce spiritual energy into the Dantian and officially enter the stage of Qi training. Try to use the most basic breathing and breathing method in Ju Yuan Ju. Lu Shu unexpectedly found that she had automatically learned how to use the breathing method without any need to learn, and she was so proficient that it was like instinct. All of these are the magical effects brought by the fruits of the sacred tree. Boom! It didn't take long. A thunderous sound came from Lu Shu's body. Breakthrough. He opened his eyes and quickly called up the system panel to check. Personal information. Divine Tree Master. Tree Raider. Power. None. Cultivation level. First level of Qi Training Realm. Talents. 100 times increase SSS level, Fruit of All Realms SSS level, Spring Resurgence SSS level. Luck. E. Spirit. D. Sacred Tree. 1. In addition to the change in cultivation level, the spirit has also been improved. Lu Shu's eyes showed a bit of joy. It turns out that as your cultivation level improves, your spirit will also improve. At this time, ding, your aura fruit tree has reached its first production cycle, low-level aura fruit plus 100. Now, the aura fruit tree is already covered with crystal clear fruits. Counted carefully, a total of 100. Lu Shu's eyes flashed with joy, and she hurriedly picked off a few spiritual energy fruits. 3 times 5 divided by 2. 1 spiritual energy fruit was eaten by Lu Shu. Pure spiritual energy travels along the meridians in the body, and is summarized in the Dantian following Lu Shu's Ju Yuan Ju. The cultivation level in the body is growing bit by bit. 1 is not enough. Lu Shu swallowed the intermediate spiritual energy fruit. In comparison, the effect of the high-level spiritual energy fruit was not so obvious. But fortunately, he has 100 fruits. When I swallowed the third fruit, boom, breakthrough again, the second level of Qi training. However, Lu Shu obviously has no intention of stopping. He felt that the power in his body became more abundant, and he actually had cultivation level at the beginning of the game of Divine Tree. Others are still worrying about what to eat. I have taken the Reiki fruit and reached the second level of Qi training. If other people knew about it, they would probably have doubts about their lives, right? When you swallow the 10th spiritual energy fruit, Boom! Breakthrough to the 3rd level of Qi training. When Lu Shu swallowed the 11th fruit, he stopped. Now, the effect of the primary spiritual energy fruit is no longer so obvious. Belch. The most important thing is that Lu Shu is too full. Even if you swallow so much spiritual energy fruit, it will take time to digest. Open the transaction interface. Lu Shu was thinking about whether to use the spiritual energy fruit to exchange for some good things with other sacred tree masters. It turns out that the transaction interface is still empty at the moment. 2. The other sacred tree masters are still hungry. Where do you get the stuff to throw on it for trading? A thought came to my mind. Lu Shu opened the Sacred Tree panel. Now, product information has been updated. Product: Fruit of Life. Production cycle: 3.65 days, 365 100ths. The next fruit turns out to be the fruit of life. Lu Shu secretly said in her heart. According to the system introduction, the fruit of life can give birth to all kinds of incredible magical creatures. Unfortunately, the space for the subspecies spiritual tree has been used up. Otherwise, this fruit of life can be buried. The level of the sacred tree is still very important. Not to mention anything else, the location of the subspecies spiritual tree is a particularly precious resource. Lu Shu opens the panel. Growth points: 475. One day it will grow into a spiritual tree. Lu Shu felt slightly happy. He suddenly remembered that there was a basin of saved water in his cabin that could be used for watering. However, after thinking about it, Lu Shu still chose to keep these water sources. There was a heavy rain yesterday, and now the rainwater has reached saturation for the growth of the sacred tree. The rest is just a matter of waiting for a day. After one day, Lu Shu slept happily again. When he got up, he felt that the experience was particularly good. Most of the spiritual energy fruit I swallowed yesterday was consumed. Cultivation level is close to breaking through to the 4th level of Qi training. Get out of the cabin. The sacred tree in the center of the island has grown into a spiritual tree that is 4 meters high. Ding! Congratulations on your sacred tree, it has grown into a primary spiritual tree. Sacred tree. Stage: Primary spirit tree. Sunlight: 130 per day, 1.3x 100. Aura: 110 per day, 1.1x 100. Subspecies spirit tree remaining capacity: 3. Product: Fruit of Life. Production cycle: 2.65 days, 265 100ths equals 2.5. Growth points: 625, 2.4x 100 equals 240 per day. Next stage: Intermediate spiritual tree, 5,000 growth points. View the panel. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. The growth rate has been improved. Moreover, I now have planting locations for 3 subspecies of spiritual trees. Compared to a position in the sapling period, 3 positions, a lot more maneuverable space than before. One of the positions, Lu Shu intends to give up to the fruit of life. After that, let's see what kind of products the sacred tree will produce. Upgrading to an intermediate spiritual tree requires 5,000 growth points. Even if there is a 100-fold increase, it will take nearly 20 days. It will take another 2.5 days for the fruit of life to hatch. It's still a long time. Lu Shu sighed sadly. If those who are still hungry hear these words from Lu Shu, they will probably die from fan shui. Open World Public Screen. Lu Shu planned to see what others were doing. At this moment, the chat history above caught his attention. I found a pack of biscuits in the gray world, ha ha ha. Upstairs, you have entered the gray world. What is it like there? I won't tell you, just enter the gray world by yourself. Laozi will eat the cookies first. At this time, a player with the ID of Muyu Tingfeng suddenly spoke on the top. The gray world is a place similar to another world. What you can find in it all depends on your ability. However, if you enter the gray world, you'd better be prepared to never come back. Some people familiar with the matter also started discussing in the chat box after seeing this sentence. Indeed, there are many good things in the gray world, but you have to pay for them with your life. A friend of mine went into the gray realm yesterday, saying he wanted to do some exploration, but he has not heard from him until today. But if we don't enter the gray world, it will take years and months to wait for the sacred tree to grow. By the time the fruit comes out, we will have starved to death. You still have to enter the gray world to find a chance to survive. Tisk, tisk, those who persuade people to enter the gray world deserve to be struck by lightning. It's better to hide on the island for safety. However, no matter what everyone thinks, until now, people have entered the gray world one after another. They can't survive by drinking rainwater and eating grass all day long, right? By the time the sacred tree grows, I'm afraid it will be cold. Although you can stay alive by hiding on the island, it may not be a good choice. Lu Shu did not forget that when he came in, the rules of the game said that he must resist the invasion of the gray world. That is to say, sooner or later, we will face the crisis of the gray world. He also somewhat understood why there was nothing left for the Divine Tree Master except the island. It turns out that there is a hidden rule that requires players to explore the gray world. Although there are dangers in the gray world, there are also opportunities. You may even be able to find items that accelerate the growth of the sacred tree. Just hiding on the island is just a game of slow death for most sacred tree masters. Obviously, many sacred tree masters have recently become aware of this rule and have begun to explore the gray world. Lu Shu looked at the gray world outside the island and began to think in her heart. It is impossible to enter the gray world by yourself. It's too dangerous inside. If you don't understand the rules, you might encounter unknown dangers if you go in. What if you die? But when the fruit of life matures, you can let your pet explore the gray world on your behalf. For Lu Shu, there is no need to venture into the gray world personally, he only needs to cultivate the sacred tree and that's it. There should be some sacred tree masters who have gained some gains in the gray world. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. From what Mu Tingfeng said, it can be judged that some of the sacred tree masters who entered the gray world first may have made some new discoveries. Although he does not enter the gray world, it does not mean that he cannot use the fruit to exchange for the good things inside. Open the transaction interface. It was still empty. Lu Shu posted the first item on it. Seller, Lu Shuren. Product, Reiki fruit. Type, sacred tree fruit. Trading requirements, high-end items in the gray world, preferably helpful for the growth of the sacred tree. And, information related to the gray world. The moment Lu Shu released the product, a series of invitation messages suddenly appeared in front of me. The entire forum exploded instantly. Everyone, look at the transaction interface, someone is actually selling fruits. Are you lying? My sacred tree is still a sapling. Are you telling me that someone has already produced fruits? It should be a big shot who has awakened his S-level talent. I'm envious, why don't I have the luck to draw such a good talent? Ooh, I'm sore. At Lu Shu Ren, boss, can I trade biscuits with you for fruit? This is something I discovered in the gray world. Don't be embarrassed upstairs, people are already growing fruits. Do you care about your broken biscuits? Boss, please give me a fruit. I'm going to starve to death. If I don't eat, I'm going to die. It's ridiculous, a waste of money. Do you think others are the Holy Mother and the Savior Bodhisattva? Why should I give you anything if I don't have anything in exchange? Lu Shu looked at a bunch of invitation windows appearing in front of her and was speechless for a while. He sent a sentence in the chat box. There are harvesters in the gray world. You can trade with me. I don't need food. I need resources to promote the growth of the sacred tree. Then, all these messy invitation links were blocked. In the transaction interface, there is a transaction confirmation window. Many players try to trade a bunch of scraps. Not only are there ridiculous things like iron pots and wooden basins, but even grass is here. Lu Shu looked at it and wanted to curse for a while. Isn't it true that, except for yourself, billions of people are so poor that they can't afford a single good thing? The only thing that was better was the biscuits. However, Lu Shu had the spiritual energy fruit, and these rough foods no longer tasted good to him. At this time, a trading window appeared in front of Lu Shu. The Sacred Tree Master, Mu Tingfeng, invites you to trade. Is it the guy who revealed the information? Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. Click to open the transaction interface. I saw an item appearing in the other party's transaction window. Item, primary fertilizer. Effect, coming from the gray world, it can quickly promote the growth of the sacred tree. Confirm transaction. Next to the item, there is a trading chat window. Lu Shu thought about it and entered a line of text. I need to get information about the gray world. You asked. The other party quickly replied to the message. What is the gray world like? A maze full of gray fog. Mu Yutingfeng simply described it. In this maze, it is a bit like a city with borders. The visual range of the sacred tree master is very limited, which is equivalent to walking through the fog. Quote, when I entered the gray world, I saw a manor and obtained fertilizer, but outside the manor was a demon city. I only know a small part of the gray world. As for what everyone will encounter, it's hard to say. As for the laws of the gray world, I haven't figured it out yet. Lu Shu hesitated for a moment, checking whether what Mu Yutingfeng said was true. Then, the other party continued. There may be some monsters in the gray world. If you are lucky or have the ability to avoid risks, you can go in and explore. Risk avoidance, what ability are you talking about? Lu Shu continued to ask. He didn't want to miss any bit of information. It comes from the fruit of the sacred tree. Mu Yutingfeng said, I think I have said enough. Lu Shu pondered for a moment. Indeed, Mu Yutingfeng said enough. There is actually no need for people to tell themselves about their ability to avoid risks. To say it came from the sacred tree was beyond the scope of the transaction. Okay, I accept the deal with you. Lu Shu clicked agree. Ding, you get primary fertilizer. The trading interface is a public platform, and the information on it will not be false. Of course, Lu Shu needs to judge the content of the intelligence by himself. Primary fertilizer is available. Lu Shu immediately came to the side of the sacred tree. Do you want to use primary fertilizer X1? Yes. Your sacred tree is absorbing fertilizer, and its growth points +10. Your sacred tree is absorbing fertilizer, and its growth points +10. Reminders appeared one after another before my eyes. A special status bar appeared next to the sacred tree. Absorbing fertilizer. Duration: 3 days. The growth rate of the sacred tree has been greatly improved temporarily. 5.2x 100 equals 520 days. Not only that, the production cycle of the sacred tree is also promoted by fertilizer, and the effect is doubled. Product: fruit of life. Period. 1 day 200 equals 1. Good stuff. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. The effect of primary fertilizer can last for 3 days. This means that in the next 3 days, the growth rate of his sacred tree will be doubled. The fruit of life only takes 1 day to grow. The 5,000 growth points required from a primary spiritual tree to an intermediate spiritual tree are also much faster. I can get as much fertilizer as I want. Think of this. Lu Shu opened the transaction interface again. Lu Shu can have hundreds more spiritual energy fruits like this. Exchange for primary fertilizer. For now, you can make a profit without losing money. Aura fruit tree. Variety: subspecies spirit tree. Product: aura fruit. Period. 1.825 days 365 200ths. Production times remaining: 2. With the blessing of fertilizer, there are only 1 or 2 days left until the next time the aura fruit tree comes. The corners of Lu Shu's mouth raised slightly. He was certain that Mu Yutingfeng had more good things than just primary fertilizer, and he might have gained more. As long as you have enough spiritual energy fruits. Sooner or later, the benefits of the gray world will fall on you. And Mu Yutingfeng will definitely become interested again after trying her own fruit once. Unconsciously, the sun disappeared into the gray world. The sunshine time on the floating island is not very long. Night falls quietly. With nothing to do, Lu Shu returned to the cabin and went to bed on time when it got dark. Until tomorrow comes, Lu Shu will have another great harvest. A floating island. Under the sacred tree that glows with wisdom, a veiled woman sits cross-legged. Although the white veil covers the woman's true appearance, the exposed skin is as delicate as white snow, and her eyes like blue waves are full of wisdom. Now, in the woman's hand, an elite fruit appeared. It's the Reiki fruit. That's right. This player is Mu Yutingfeng, who redeemed the primary spiritual energy fruit from Lu Shu. Suddenly, a chat interface appeared in front of Mu Yutingfeng. Sister Mu, how is the situation with the sacred tree master who sells the fruit? He is a somewhat smart guy. He knows how to use the resources in his hands to exchange for information about the gray world. Mu Yutingfeng replied. Where's the ability? It can only produce very ordinary fruits. Mu Yutingfeng looked at the fruit in his hand, with a hint of disappointment in his eyes. However, it is obviously unrealistic to use fruits that can awaken superpowers just to exchange them for primary fertilizer. Mu Yutingfeng said. Record, the sacred tree master Lu Shiren has awakened the ability to produce fruits quickly. It is initially judged that the talent is C+ level. This C+ is a grade given because of the fast production speed. Okay, Sister Mu, the other party replied. Since it is only C+ level, there is nothing to pay attention to. Mu Yutingfeng shook her head slightly. I thought that the first one to be put on the trading interface might be a very talented divine tree master. As a result, the fruit produced was too mediocre. Being fast in the early stage is indeed an advantage, but in the later stage, if the fruit cannot provide the divine tree master with the ability to become stronger, it will be useless. Mu Yutingfeng sighed. Is this transaction considered a loss? Of course, having said that, the fruits exchanged for primary fertilizer cannot be wasted. Mu Yutingfeng picked up the spiritual energy fruit and took a bite gently. Suddenly, her expression changed greatly. When the fragrant and fresh juice spread on the tip of her tongue, her graceful figure suddenly trembled. A chill slid down the throat and into the stomach. Your body seems. Any changes? Hoo-hoo. A new energy has been injected into my body. Mu Yutingfeng took a deep breath. She closed her eyes and fell into enjoyment. The moment he swallowed the spiritual energy fruit, Mu Yutingfeng felt that his body became lighter, as if he was roaming in the clouds and soaring in the sea of clouds. Could it have some weird effect? This thought came to Mu Yutingfeng's mind. However, she pinched it slightly with her slender fingers and suddenly understood. It's just that the Reiki fruit transformed my body, so I have such a special experience, right? Only in heaven and on earth can you enjoy the taste of this fruit. The fruits grown by my own divine tree of wisdom are much more delicious. Unknowingly, Mu Yutingfeng took a second bite. Her elegant movements became a little rough at this time, and the frequency of chewing was increasing every second. Tisk tisk. This is not the sound a little fairy should make. It leaked out. Suddenly, Mu Yutingfeng couldn't help but exclaimed. She chewed too fast, and a drop of fresh and fragrant white juice accidentally leaked from the corner of her mouth and flowed down the side of her chin, leaving an arc that made people think. She quickly sucked it in, thinking silently that wasting food is a waste of food. What a heinous thing. When Mu Yutingfeng raised his hand again, he found with embarrassment that such a large spiritual energy fruit had been eaten by himself. I still want. Mu Yu felt for the first time that eating such a fruit was not satisfying at all. The spiritual energy travels up and down the whole body. Even if an ordinary person has not learned the exercises, eating one pill can improve his physical condition. Moreover, the energy of the Reiki fruit is very abundant. If you eat one, you will not feel hungry for 3 days and 3 nights. However, Mu Yutingfeng felt dissatisfied. Food is so attractive to her. After a brief moment of confusion, Mu Yutingfeng seemed to remember something. She typed in the chat window. Etc. The talent of the tree lifter needs to be re-evaluated. His fruit can improve the body, has abundant energy, and has a good regulating effect, and it tastes quite delicious. The person on the other side of the chat window seemed stunned. All the above are understandable. It seems that the most important thing to describe is that it tastes quite delicious. Sister Mu, what do you mean? The rating is probably B+. Mu Yutingfeng thought for a while and said. She can be sure that the Shiren has never entered the Grey World, otherwise he would not have made a request for information from the Grey World. Being able to complete production in such a short period of time, plus the fruit has a certain strengthening effect. This should not be underestimated. However, the effectiveness of the aura fruit is relatively average, which is why Mu Yutingfeng did not give it a high rating. It's a pity. If his production speed could be faster, maybe the rating could be higher. Mu Yutingfeng added, Sister Mu, that guy has put some fruit on the shelves again. Suddenly a message was sent in the chat window. Mu Yutingfeng was stunned. She quickly opened the transaction interface and found that it was the same tree puller and the same spiritual energy fruit. However, this was already the second fruit on the shelves. World Public Screen also caused a heated discussion. The boss has put another fruit on the shelves. Awesome, how many fruits did this produce? Isn't it true that only one fruit can be produced in the early stage? At Lu Shu Ren, what level of talent has the boss awakened? Can you reveal it? I guess it's definitely a grade or above. Otherwise, how could it be possible to produce so many fruits in such a short period of time? If the boss can sell it, he must have produced more than one, and will only sell the extra ones. So I can be sure that the boss has more than 3 fruits. Upstairs, the layout is too small. I guess there are 10 of them anyway. I bet dozens. When it came to dozens of pills, no one wanted to believe it. What about bragging? Dozens more. Isn't this talent S-level yet? Among a billion people, those who can obtain S-level talents may only be such a rare group. Sister Mu, how should we rate now? Seeing this message, Mu Yu Tingfeng froze immediately. Who would have thought that as soon as a transaction was completed, the other party would hang up the second fruit in the blink of an eye? How to rate this? Let's mark it as Class A for now. Mu Yu Tingfeng hesitated for a moment and said, marking the sacred tree master is something she has always been happy to do. After exploring the Grey World, Mu Yu Tingfeng knew that he might encounter other sacred tree masters in the Grey World in the future. Understanding your opponent is very important information. Although Lu Shu gave Mu Yu Tingfeng a certain surprise, she quickly put the matter aside and did not redeem the spiritual energy fruit again. Any fruit produced by a divine tree master must be able to obtain supernatural powers in order to be useful. No matter how fast Lu Shu's production speed is, if it can only increase its strength, it will only be a level at best. Only Mu Yu Tingfeng, a divine tree master with S-level talent, would pay attention. A whole day's work. Lu Shu couldn't even find another divine tree master who could provide as much benefit as Mu Yu Tingfeng. Perhaps, those sacred tree masters who can explore the Grey World all have S-level talents, so there is very little demand for my fruits. Lu Shu sighed slightly, but was not in a hurry. Waited for a day. Finally, a reminder came to my ears. Ding, you have obtained a life fruit. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. I saw a golden fruit on the sacred tree swaying in the wind. It looks golden and dazzling. Is this the fruit of life? Lu Shu stepped forward. Life fruit. Can hatch magical pets with special powers. Incubation time, 3 days. System, can the life fruit be buried in subspecies spiritual trees planted? Lu Shu asked in her mind. Can. The system simply replies. Lu Shu immediately picked the fruit of life, found a piece of soil near the sacred tree, dug a hole, and then carefully placed the fruit down. Fruit tree of life. Variety. Subspecies spirit tree. Product. Fruit of life. Period. 1.825 days, 365 200ths. Production times remaining. 1. Is there only one chance? Lu Shu's mind moved slightly. Perhaps, the fruit of life is a very high-level divine tree fruit. If planted as a subspecies spiritual tree, the number of harvests is also limited. But no matter what, being able to harvest 100 at a time is enough for heaven-defying. At this time, the sacred tree also has new fruits, waiting to grow. Product. Shock fruit. Production cycle. 2.5 days, 500 200ths. Coming. Lu Shu's expression was shocked instantly, and her eyes revealed excitement. Shock fruit. This is the most powerful fruit among devil fruits. Simply put, shock fruit causes shock. However, the degree of vibration can be adjusted. When the ability is completely released, the owner of shock fruit can even cause earthquakes, tsunamis, split the sea, tear apart space, and shatter all targets it comes into contact with. In terms of physical attack power, shock fruit is basically full of destructive power. It was as powerful as a natural disaster. Calm down the excitement. Lu Shu did not waste the following time. He picked a few spiritual energy fruits, took them, and then ran the Qi gathering technique to start today's mission of cultivating immortals. Although the effect of primary spiritual energy fruits is not that obvious for him at his current stage, there are too many of them. After swallowing 10 spiritual energy fruits, boom! There was a small wave of air all over Lu Shu. He opened his eyes and murmured, I've reached the 5th level of Qi training. At this time, Lu Shu unexpectedly discovered that his eyesight had improved to a certain extent. Lu Shu could clearly see the ants crawling on the grass from 100 meters away. A breeze blew by, and the leaves of the sacred branches made a rustling sound. All the noise in the world fell into his ears, but Lu Shu could clearly distinguish every sound. It was a unique experience. Figure: Divine Tree Master, Tree Raider. Power: none. Cultivation level: 5th level of Chi Training Realm. Talents: 100 times increase SSS level, Fruit of All Realms SSS level, Spring Resurgence SSS level. Luck: E. Spirit. C. Sacred Tree. 1. It turns out that my spirit has improved by another level. Lu Shu remembered that the last time he checked the panel, his energy was still at D level. Unexpectedly, it was now C. It's improved a whole level. If my spirit reaches S level, can I unlock abilities related to spirit attributes? Lu Shu suddenly thought of this. Mental power is also an ability, and it is very special. If the mental power before S level only makes the Divine Tree Master's perception ability stronger, then what about after reaching S level? It is very possible to develop new potential. Lu Shu began to look forward to it in her heart. Ding! The production cycle of your Aura Fruit Tree has arrived, Aura Fruit X100. At this time, a reminder appeared in front of Lu Shu. It's time to harvest the spiritual energy fruit tree. The trees are full of crystal clear fruits again. How can you finish eating so many fruits? Lu Shu suddenly became melancholy. Well, if those sacred tree masters who are still hungry hear these words, they may even have the intention to kill, right? Open the transaction interface. Lu Shu suddenly saw that in this interface, someone had already put the fruit on the shelves. After this period of exploration, some divine tree masters should have gone to the gray world to explore items that can assist the growth of spiritual trees. There are still a small number of divine tree masters who have selected the fruit talent, and they can also trade the extra fruits. Lu Shu immediately checked the fruit information on the shelves. Seller: little boy selling matches. Item: resonance fruit. Type: super power fruit. Function: can resonate with the senses of other pets to achieve sharing of vision and hearing. Requirement: exchange fruits that can increase abilities. The resonance fruit is not very useful to other people. But I can hatch the fruit of life next, and I will have a pet. The ability of sensory resonance can be used on pets, which is equivalent to me being able to explore the gray world with the help of pets. Thinking of this, Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. Lu Shu sent an invitation link to the little match boy. It seems that because Lu Shu has previously listed items on the trading interface. Therefore, the other party quickly accepted the invitation. Before Lu Shu could speak, the little boy selling matches entered in the chat box. Boss, do you want to exchange the fruits? Yeah, Lu Shu replied simply. Okay, I agree to exchange with you. The little match seller recognized Lu Shu at a glance as the first divine tree master to put the fruit on the shelves. He must be a big shot. The thighs must be hugged. We can't let the other party run away. After confirming the transaction. Ding, you got a resonance fruit. Open warehouse. There was a gray fruit inside. Finally, I can have a superpower. Lu Shu's eyes flashed with joy. He used 10 primary spiritual energy fruits to exchange for 1 superpower fruit, and it was definitely not a loss. For others, the role of primary spiritual energy fruits is only to improve physical fitness, and the improvement is very limited, unless they also have kung fu fruits. And any superpower is of high value to the divine tree master. After thinking about it, Lu Shu did not bury the resonance fruit in the soil and occupy the location of the subspecies spiritual tree. First of all, it is enough that you only need to know this kind of power. Secondly, the resonance fruit market is not very good in the trading interface, and as a superpower fruit, the number of production times may be limited. Lu Shu chose to swallow the resonance fruit immediately. Ding! Congratulations on your new power, resonance. Power: resonance. Type: perception power. Ability: sensory resonance, thinking resonance, reaction resonance. Thinking resonance. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. If you can even resonate with your thoughts, wouldn't sending a pet there be equivalent to going there yourself? In this case, I only need to send out the elf pets, isn't it equivalent to entering the gray world to explore by myself? You know, pets can also take superpowers. As long as there are enough superpower fruits and enough corresponding subspecies of sacred trees, sooner or later, even pets will be full of heaven-defying superpowers. Hundreds of pets with superpowers enter the gray world. What effect should this have? Lu Shu began to wait for the fruit of life to hatch. By the second night it was time. Finally, the growth of the fruit of life tree is complete. 100 golden fruits swayed on the spiritual tree, blooming with dazzling brilliance in the dark night. Tip: pick the fruit of life and place it next to the sacred tree to hatch it. Lu Shu followed the prompts, picked the 100 golden fruits, and placed them all next to the sacred tree. When all the fruits are placed in the designated place, the sacred tree hatches the fruits of life according to the most friendly laws of nature. 100 fruits burst into golden brilliance in the night at the same time, falling to the ground like meteors, glowing with divine light. After Lu Shu's mental power improved, he sensed that a new rhythm of life was being born in the fruit. We still need to wait for 3 days. Unfortunately, the incubation process has nothing to do with the sacred tree, so there is still 1 day of effective primary fertilizer left, which cannot speed up the hatching of the life fruit. You still have to wait honestly. Until tomorrow. Shock fruit is almost done growing. Lu Shu suddenly felt excited. In addition to resonance, shock fruit will be the second power he gains. Before I knew it, another day had passed. Shock fruit also grows from the sacred tree. At first glance, the shape of this fruit looks like the heart of a devil. Lu Shu buried shock fruit in the soil without hesitation. A new subspecies of spiritual tree grows in the blink of an eye. Shock fruit tree. Variety: subspecies spirit tree. Product: shock fruit. Cycle: 3.65 days, 365 100ths. Production times remaining: 1, As Lu Shu expected, there was only one production. If nothing else, shock fruit's superpower is simply too powerful. Unfortunately, primary fertilizer's time has passed. Lu Shu sighed slightly in her heart. At this moment, another invitation window suddenly popped up in front of him. The sacred tree master, Mu Tingfeng, invites you to trade. Is it him? Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. During this period of time, Mu Tingfeng didn't come to trade with him, thinking that he didn't like his spiritual energy fruit. As soon as he opened the interface, he saw Mu Tingfeng releasing a pack of primary fertilizer. Lu Shu was happy. I was dozing off, but unexpectedly someone brought me a pillow. Choose a deal on the spot. Mu Tingfeng didn't say much. After the transaction was completed, he closed the interface directly. I wonder if this person is a girl. Lu Shu thought secretly in her heart. The ID choice is a bit poetic. However, many male players also take such ids. The waistcoat cannot be used as a basis for judging people. He shook his head and put aside these irrelevant thoughts. Lu Shu walked towards the sacred tree. Do you want to use primary fertilizer X1? Yes. In addition, Lu Shu also took out the large basin of water from the house and poured part of it towards the sacred tree. Your sacred tree absorbs water and has +2 growth points. Your sacred tree absorbs primary fertilizer and has +10 growth points. At the same time, 2 different status bars appeared on the divine tree. Absorb water source, absorb primary fertilizer. Duration: 1 day, 3 days. Soon, with the blessing of double buff, the growth rate received a huge short-term improvement. 6.2x 100 equals 620 per day. The growth cycle of the shock fruit tree has also sped up a lot. Time remaining: 1.46 days, 365 250ths. Since the island has been sunny and not raining these past few days, the sacred tree lacks water. So this watering turned out surprisingly well. Lu Shu estimated that it would not be a problem to use the water in the large basin for 3 consecutive days, so that water absorption state could be maintained forever. After the shock fruit has grown, there are new fruits waiting to be produced. Choose to open the panel to view. Sacred tree. Stage: primary spirit tree. Sunlight: 130 per day, 1.3x 100. Aura: 110 per day, 1.1x 100. Remaining capacity of subspecies spirit tree: 1. Products: Kung Fu fruit, spiritual energy fruit. Production cycle: 2 days, 500 250ths equals 2.5. Growth points: 2625, 6.2x 100 equals 620 per day. Next stage: intermediate spiritual tree, 5000 growth points. Although the product is not clearly stated, Lu Shu can be sure that the skill fruits and spiritual energy fruits produced this time will definitely be of a higher level. And with the blessing of primary fertilizer, the growth point is only half the distance from the intermediate spiritual tree before you know it. The effect of adding fertilizer 100 times is really good. If planted normally, the maximum number of growth points gained every day is 2. It takes years and months to cultivate a primary spiritual tree. With a 100-fold increase, Lu Shu only needs a few days, and the progress is amazing. There is still one subspecies spirit tree left. Lu Shu plans to wait until the high-level spiritual energy fruit is planted, bury it, and upgrade her cultivation progress. Another island. A spiritual energy fruit appeared in Mu Yutingfeng's hand. Would it be a bit of a loss? She looked at the fruit, lost in thought. To be honest, if it weren't for the large amount of fertilizer, I would be a little reluctant to redeem this fruit. The effect is too limited. However, one bite. It smells so good. Mu Yutingfeng suddenly felt that the exchange was worth it. It's not like she hasn't eaten other sacred tree fruits, but none of them taste as good as the spiritual energy fruits sold by the Shu Luren. Anyway, there are still a lot of primary fertilizers in the inventory, so just exchange them to satisfy your appetite. This is Mu Yutingfeng's little willfulness. At this time, a chat box appeared in front of Mu Yutingfeng. Sister Mu, we have found traces of some monsters in the Grey World. Moreover, there are dungeons like Boss Lord. There are rewards after passing the dungeon. But it is very difficult. Mu Yutingfeng's eyes moved slightly and said, "Don't go there yet, this kind of copy is not something we can touch now." "Good," the other party replied and closed the window. Mu Yutingfeng fell into deep thought. Are there dungeons and BOSSs in the Grey World? If you kill these things, you will definitely get extremely generous rewards. However, the risks that need to be faced are also unpredictable. Mu Yu listened to the wind and calculated the changes in the world of the sacred tree, and suddenly shook her head slightly. Next, I'm afraid no one will be able to pass the level of challenge of the Grey Realm dungeon within a few months. World public screen. Selling wild boar. Fresh wild boar. If you want it, the sacred tree master will give you the fruit in exchange. Does anyone want primary fertilizer? It's on sale at a special price. I just need any kind of fruit. Is there anyone in the Grey World gathering near Yan'an town? Let's form a team to open up Wasteland together. In these few days, there are already many sacred tree masters who are clearing up Wasteland in the Grey World. Most of the harvest obtained in the Grey World are put on the shelves to be exchanged for fruits. After all, some of the sacred trees of the sacred tree masters will produce fruits with repeated powers. At this time, you can put them to the trading interface for exchange, and you can make the best use of them. Lu Shu is also always paying attention to the news in the forum. He probably knew that when leaving the island and entering the Grey World, there would be an area with a low risk factor. Some people got opportunities and gains, while others encountered unknown dangers and died. Spiritual weapon. Name: Jade Spirit Dagger. Level: low-grade spiritual weapon. Attributes: attack power 10, pierce 2, attack speed 12. Skills: none. It's pretty useful. He waved the Jade Spirit Dagger in his hand. Seeing that many Divine Tree Masters have recently put items on the transaction interface, Lu Shu spent 5 primary spiritual energy fruits and exchanged one from a Divine Tree Master who had awakened the Divine Weapon talent. Spiritual weapon. The Jade Spirit Dagger is light in the hand, but its blade is extremely sharp, has piercing properties, and its attack speed is very fast. When the 100 life fruits are hatched, Lu Shu also plans to enter the Grey World to explore. This weapon is for self-defense. Defend your pets. Ding. Your life fruit has been hatched x100. Get Pokemon, Pikachu x100. Pikachu. Type: Pokemon. Power: 100,000 volts. Physique: D. Speed: B+. Spirit: B. Overall potential: B. Finally you are here. Lu Shu was just about to return to the cabin to sleep when a system notification sounded in her ears. She immediately stopped sleeping and ran out. Pika Pika. As soon as I left the house, 100 Pikachu suddenly rushed over and drowned Lu Shu. Lu Shu's entire body was overwhelmed by Pikachu and she was at a loss. Trapped in a sea of electric mice, unable to extricate myself. Pika Pika. As soon as Pikachu was born, he sensed Lu Shu's aura. They were hatched by the sacred tree and were born to feel close to Lu Shu's soul. Okay. Lu Shu was tortured and smiled bitterly. 100 Pikachus. This furry, yellow-skinned electric mouse feels like not much more fragrant than petting a cat. Pika pika. When that soft voice that melted the hearts of countless girls echoed in her ears, Lu Shu felt like her heart melted. And this feeling needs to be multiplied by 100. This is so happy. A simple and honest Pikachu staggered to the aura fruit tree and picked a crystal clear fruit. Pika pika. The aggrieved eyes looked at Lu Shu, holding up the spiritual energy fruit, as if he wanted to eat this. Eat. Lu Shu smiled. Anyway, he couldn't finish the fruit by himself, and what he could get in exchange for the spiritual energy fruit was no longer that useful to Lu Shu now. Pick up. Pikachu screamed excitedly, and then took a bite of the aura fruit. Lu Shu opened her mouth. How did little Pikachu swallow such a big spiritual energy fruit in one gulp? Suddenly, Pikachu's body glowed with a hazy light. Lu Shu's eyes moved instantly. A panel appears in front of you. Pikachu. Type. Pokemon. Power. 100,000 volts. Physique. D+. Speed. A. Spirit. B+. Overall potential. A. He actually became stronger. Lu Shu was surprised now. Unexpectedly, after Pikachu ate the aura fruit, his attributes changed. Not only that, the overall potential has directly changed from B to A. Eat the second fruit and see. Instead, Lu Shu took the initiative to pick off a spiritual energy fruit and handed it to Pikachu. This little cute creature was obviously a little bloated from eating, but since such a delicious fruit was sent to him, he couldn't let it go. Take one bite. However, after eating the second spiritual energy fruit, there was no change. Lu Shu guessed that it was because the level of the spiritual energy fruit was not high enough. Even if he ate the second one, the improvement would be very limited. The other Pikachu looked at Lu Shu aggrievedly, obviously having some objections to his favoritism. Everyone is Pikachu, why did this guy eat too? You all go and eat too. Lu Shu couldn't help but laugh. The other 99 Pikachus regained their previous joy and all ran over. In the blink of an eye, the aura fruit tree, which still had hundreds of fruits, suddenly became bald. I don't know what the idea behind this tree is. Tonight, when Lu Shu returned to the cabin to sleep, she was no longer alone. 100 Pikachus, sleeping with him. The original wooden bed didn't even have a mattress, making it uncomfortable to sleep on. Just tonight, 100 Pikachus suffered the fate of being reduced to mattresses. For the first time, Lu Shu felt so comfortable sleeping on an island. When I woke up the next morning, ding, the growth cycle of your shock fruit tree has reached, shock fruit plus 100. Coming. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. Avert your gaze. The shock fruit tree is now full of shock fruit. There are 100 of them. Lu Shu took a deep breath. The strongest devil fruit, there are still 100 of them. What is this concept? If I let all these Pikachu swallow, an invincible army will be created to sweep across the gray world. Lu Shu stepped forward and picked off a shock fruit first. However, when he put shock fruit to his mouth, a prompt suddenly popped up in front of him. Note: each divine tree master can only obtain one devil fruit's ability, and cannot obtain the second one. Lu Shu hesitated for a moment, then suddenly put down the devil fruit next to her mouth. If I can only take one devil fruit, then shock fruit may not be suitable for me. All offensive fruits should be given to pets to take the initiative to attack the gray world. As for me, staying on the island is more suitable for defense and survival type fruits. Superpowers like the phoenix fruit will be of greater help to me. What's more, Lu Shu can also take the spiritual energy fruit and practice together with the skill fruit. Although shock fruit is quite powerful, it may become an immortal in the later stages. In contrast, although shock fruit's abilities are powerful, they may not be suitable for Lu Shu himself. In that case, let's give all these shock fruit to Pikachu. At the greeting of Lu Shu, all the Pikachus picked shock fruit from the tree and swallowed it. The cute burps sounded one after another. I ate a Reiki fruit before, and now I have another shock fruit. But these little guys are exhausted. It didn't take long. A new panel popped up in front of Lu Shu. Pikachu. Type. Pokemon. Power. 100,000 volts. Shock fruit. Physique. D+. Speed. A. Spirit. B+. Comprehensive potential. S. Going straight to S level. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. No way, Shock Fruit's abilities are too heaven-defying. With just one more skill, Pikachu's overall potential has changed dramatically. Hurry up and try your ability to resonate. Lu Shu's heart moved. Aim at one of the Pikachus. Unleash the power of resonance. The souls of Pikachu and Lu Shu have a natural affinity. The moment the resonance power was activated, Pikachu received a surge of spiritual power. If Pikachu resists with willpower, he can reject the resonance. Of course, all Pikachu are very close to Lu Shu and chose to accept it without any doubt. The next second, Lu Shu found her realization and instantly became lower. Pick up. Try to make a sound. Lu Shu unexpectedly found that she had entered Pikachu's body. The surrounding Pikachu seemed to be able to sense Lu Shu's message, and they all gathered around curiously, blinking their small dark eyes. Seems to be curious. Why did Lu Shu get into this Pikachu's body? So this is resonance. Lu Shu sighed in her heart. In fact, this is a high-level resonance. Only pets can have direct control over their bodies if they trust others wholeheartedly. Lu Shu seems to have a naturally high affinity, so he easily mastered the resonance, and was able to directly use one of the Pikachu's bodies to perform activities. By the way, Shock Fruit. Lu Shu's heart moved and she chose to activate the superpower. On the field, the Pikachu that was resonating with Lu Shu suddenly stretched out its small palm. Boom! A loud bang. In the air above our heads, a trace similar to broken glass suddenly appeared. This is the air shock launched by Shock Fruit. Even the void can be shattered. If it fell on someone else, I'm afraid it would end up being shattered to pieces. Sleepy. Try to activate Shock Fruit's ability. Lu Shu suddenly found that his mental state instantly fell into a state of exhaustion. His spirit also retreated from the state of resonance. Pick up. After exiting the resonance state, Pikachu regained his will and sat there, tilting his head blankly and looking around. So it turns out that activating supernatural powers requires consuming mental energy. After being stunned for a moment, Lu Shu realized something. It turns out that activating supernatural powers requires mental power. The more powerful the power, the more mental power it consumes. Lu Shu's mental power is now only C. Whether you use resonance or activate Shock Fruit, you need to consume mental energy. It seems that you still have to cultivate immortality. Lu Shu sighed in her heart. Only when the level of immortality is high can you have enough mental power to activate supernatural powers. Therefore, the spiritual energy fruit is the foundation. At this time, a notification sounded in Lu Shu's ear. Ding! You have obtained the top-grade spiritual technique, 10,000 Yuan Ju. Ding! You have obtained a high-level spiritual energy fruit. Coming. Lu Shu's eyes lit up instantly. After 2 days of growth, the Divine Tree's skill fruits and spiritual energy fruits have finished growing. He did not take the advanced spiritual energy fruit immediately, but chose to bury it in the soil. Soon, a high-level spiritual energy fruit tree rose from the ground. Advanced Aura Fruit Tree. Variety. Subspecies Spirit Tree. Product. Advanced Spiritual Energy Fruit. Cycle. 1.47 days 365 250ths. Production times remaining, 3. At the same time, the products of the sacred tree have also been updated. Product. Ninja Fruit. Cycle. 3 days 750 250ths. Ninja Fruit. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. This is a new fruit. It should be similar to a superpower fruit. The effect may be to obtain a ninjutsu or something. It takes a long time to grow. However, with the blessing of a 100-fold increase and 2 acceleration buffs, it only takes 3 days to harvest. Focus on the fruits of the technique. Lu Shu swallowed it immediately. 3 times 5 divided by 2. The fruits of the whole exercise are gone. In Lu Shu's mind, there is an additional secret to the operation of the 10,000 Yuan Ju. Compared with Ju Yuan Ju, 10,000 Yuan Ju is faster to practice. It is an advanced version of the previous technique and is suitable for Lu Shu's current state of cultivation. Try to run 10,000 Yuan Ju. Lu Shu immediately discovered that using the breathing method to absorb spiritual energy was faster. The aura fruit he took was also being digested quickly. Boom! It didn't take long. Lu Shu actually made a breakthrough from the 5th level of Qi training to the 6th level of Qi training. Chapter 11. Before that, Lu Shu has eaten a lot of primary spiritual energy fruits. In addition, the aura of the floating island is already abundant. If you accumulate it carefully, breakthroughs will come naturally. When the advanced spiritual energy fruit grows, my cultivation speed will definitely be faster. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. Just after the skill is upgraded, the bottleneck of cultivation is broken. If you add advanced skills and fruits, the effect will be incredible. I'm afraid even the 9th level of Qi training can easily break through. After breaking through the realm, Lu Shu found that the mental energy he had previously consumed was fully restored instantly. Can release super powers again. However, with the previous lessons, Lu Shu will not use the power of shock fruit easily again. He was shocked to find that his mental power was not as high as other Pikachus. The mental power of any Pikachu has reached B+ level. I am only C level. And, after activating resonance, shock fruit's ability is released, and Lu Shu uses her own mental power. Let's leave the fighting to Pikachu. It's time to attack the Grey World. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. He moved Pikachu's body and carried the Jade Spirit dagger behind his back. This dagger is carried on Pikachu's back and looks like a big knife. Pika, all troops attack. Lu Shu Pikachu pointed the Jade Spirit dagger forward. A command. A large army composed of hundreds of Pikachus marched towards the Grey World in a mighty manner. If any Sacred Tree Master saw this scene, they would be stunned. Which of you here entered the Grey World for the first time and wasn't cautious, fearing that you would die if you passed by? Rushing towards the Grey World like this, you are simply not a human being. Wrong. It's as if these guys are not human in the first place. Entering the Grey Realm. A background panel appeared in front of Lu Shu. Grey World. Location. City of the Living Dead. Coordinates. 44, 44. Risk factor. E. Background. In this rotten city, all the humans you see are dead. Grey fog suddenly enveloped the surroundings. Lu Shu looked around. Below is a ruined street. With Lu Shu as the center of the circle, everything within a radius of 5 meters is covered with grey fog. Beyond that, nothing can be seen. In this case, the senses are infinitely compressed. Only when walking forward can you see the scene in front of the grey fog. But the field of view has been compressed to within 5 meters. No, it's more than just the view. Even the sound will be blocked by the grey fog. In other words, no matter which Sacred Tree Master comes to the Grey World for the first time, the range of his senses is quite limited. A cold breath came to my face. The biting cold seems to penetrate the skin and penetrate into the soul. This is a lifeless and strange otherworld. In the Grey World, even the rules exist from the old era that have been abandoned long ago. Is this the Grey World? Lu Shu took a deep breath. He can be sure that the Sacred Tree Masters in the world public screen who can discuss the Grey World are only a minority among a billion people. In this colorless world, the visual range is only 5 meters. God knows what monsters will come out of the surrounding fog. In the Grey World, when you see danger, danger is already around you. Pika, set up defensive formation. Lu Shu conducted the command calmly. Under his arrangement, all the Pikachu spread out in all directions, forming a large circular formation. The distance between each Pikachu is kept at 5 meters. When the formation is set up, Lu Shu uses resonance. In an instant, the vision of 100 Pikachus was connected together. And the field of view has also changed from the original 5 meters to 500 meters. The advantage is that the senses are broadened. Of course, the disadvantage is that when Pikachu is scattered, the combat power cannot be gathered together instantly. But according to the dungeon intelligence Lu Shu saw, the danger coefficient of the City of the Living Dead is only E level. The chance of any Pikachu being killed instantly is very low. Pick up, forward. Lu Shu commanded the large troops, maintaining their formation and moving forward. Through this 500-meter field of view. As you can see, this is a disabled city. Roads are full of potholes, buildings have collapsed, and the civilization of the past no longer exists. At this time, a numbing chewing sound followed a Pikachu's senses and fell into Lu Shu's ears. In sight, a zombie in ragged clothes was sitting in the ruins, eating wood. Zombie. Category. Living Dead. Risk factor. E. Sensing range. 1 meter. Strength, 2. Speed, 1. Defense, 2. Description: a resident of the city of the living dead, low threat. This tip. Lu Shu was stunned. The last time I saw a similar prompt like this was on the talent selection interface. Turn out to be. In the gray world, this prompt will appear again. Lu Shu felt happy. With the reminder, wouldn't he be able to predict the danger in advance? This zombie's perception range is very limited, only 1 meter. Therefore, even if a zombie enters Lu Shu's field of vision, he will not be aware of it. However, could it be that some monster's perception ability exceeds 5 meters? When encountering a stronger enemy, it means that the enemy is in the light and I am in the dark. In this case, Lu Shu still needs to be cautious. Maybe deep in the invisible gray fog. Maybe there is a terrible enemy who can notice his arrival. Crack! Pikachu stepped forward and released his lightning power. When the lightning falls on the zombies instantly turned into a black mist and dispersed. However, nothing fell out. What about the equipment you promised to kill monsters? Lu Shu thought for a while. It should be because the zombie level is too low, right? Walk towards the front. Encounter a few more zombies. Lu Shu was too lazy to do anything. At this time, a prompt sounded in Lu Shu's ear again. 5 meters ahead on the left, a normal level skill illustration appears. 5 meters ahead on the left, a large zombie appears. Large zombie. Category: living dead. Risk factor: E. Sensing range: 3 meters. Strength: 5. Speed: 3. Defense: 7. Description: he's quite big, so it's best not to be targeted by this guy. In the field of vision, a relatively well-preserved house appeared. It seems to be a carpenter's shop. However, there is a huge zombie lurking in the store. It's just that the perception of large zombies is only 3 meters. Still unable to pose any threat to Lu Shu. Out of perception range. Pikachu unleashes lightning. With no doubt, the large zombie was instantly killed by lightning. Lu Shu passed quickly. Pikachu moved very quickly, and he quickly reached the carpenter's shop from the middle of the team. A yellow drawing, shining slightly, appeared in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Pick up the blueprint. Congratulations on acquiring primary carpentry skills. You can use wood to build simple houses, modify them, and make various wooden furniture. The ability to collect wood has been unlocked for you. Detection: a primary wooden material appears 2 meters away from you. Collect primary wood x10. These building materials can be used to build my island. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. In front of him, a list appeared. Wooden table. Wood consumption x5. Wooden bed. Wood consumption x10. Wooden house expansion. Wood consumption x100. After lighting up the Elementary Carpentry Skills Illustrated book, some basic woodworking products can be made by just collecting wood. I picked up the Skill Illustrated book at the beginning, which seems to be my luck. Think for a moment. Lu Shu chose to let all Pikachu spread out and explore. This way you will harvest more and faster. Anyway, the zombies nearby were all killed instantly due to Pikachu's superpower, so they posed no threat. You collected wood x5. You collected wood x10. You collected wood x20. Prompts kept popping up in front of my eyes. Hundreds of Pikachu are scattered around to explore, and with the help of prompts, the efficiency has improved a lot. At this time, Lu Shu entered a mine. Tip: 5 meters ahead on the left, a primary ore skill illustration appears. Tip: 5 meters ahead on the left, a large zombie appears. Tip: 5 meters ahead on the right, a large zombie appears. There are 5 large zombies in total. Lu Shu blocked the perception range of the large zombies and found all nearby enemies. Calling fellow Pikachu. The 20 Pikachu closest to Lu Shu all rushed over. Although these enemies can be dealt with by Lu Shu alone. But to be on the safe side, it's better to ask everyone to come together. 20 Pikachu surrounded the large zombies. 100,000 volts. Sizzle, sizzle. The sound of electricity kept ringing. Less than half a minute. All large zombies within sight were killed instantly. Awesome. Lu Shu couldn't help but sigh. What a Pikachu army. Sweeping across the gray world is simply not difficult at all. Lu Shu stepped forward and picked up the Radiant Illustrated book. Congratulations on obtaining the Junior Minor skill. You can use ore to build basic ore buildings such as walls and stone houses. The ore collection ability has been unlocked for you. Detection. 2 meters away from you, primary ore materials appear. Collect primary ore x10. Collect primary ore x20. In front of you, there is an entire mine, covering an area of several thousand square meters. The amount of ore here is countless. There are mineral resources almost everywhere. Lu Shu immediately called all the Pikachus to come here together. When 100 Pikachu came to the mine, through vision sharing, Lu Shu discovered that there are a lot of large zombies here. Obviously, this is the most dangerous place in the city of the living dead. But since large zombies are the most advanced combat power here, the risk factor is still not high. With 100 Pikachus, Lu Shu charges fearlessly towards the mine. Z-la-la, Z-la-la, there is a constant sound of electricity in this mine. All the large zombies that passed by were electrocuted to death. The silhouettes of 100 Pikachus passed by the mine. Everywhere he passed was a mess. Not many ores can be left behind. Finally, after half a day of sweeping, the whole mine is clean. Not only the ores, but also the large zombies have evaporated. Numerous prompts popped up in front of Lu Shu. When he opened the warehouse, he was shocked. Good guy, there are already tens of thousands of ores. With so much ore, it is possible to surround the island and build a defense line composed of ore. Lu Shu didn't forget it. The Sacred Tree Master will also encounter the invasion of the Grey World. This game has been going on for so long, who knows when the Grey World will start to invade the island. With so much ore, building a defensive wall around the island will definitely make it much safer when faced with an invasion from the Grey World in the future. Pika, everyone continues to disperse. Pika, free to explore around here. The mine was cleared. Lu Shu once again directed Pikachu to disperse. A sweep was carried out around the city of the living dead. At this time, a special reminder appeared in front of Lu Shu. Tip. 5 meters ahead on the left, a map of the city of the living dead appears. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. It's actually a map. Up to now, Lu Shu is basically moving forward through the gray fog. If you can light up the map, you can at least get information about most of the nearby areas. Rush over and take a look. In a well-preserved study room of a dilapidated old bungalow, there was a worn-out map on the table. Do you want to light up the map? Yes, original. The map of the Grey World is a gray fog with nothing on it. But after lighting up the map, at this moment, a small highlighted area appeared in the corner of the map. There are 3 little dots marked on it. Lu Shu thought about it and checked the area marked on the map. City of the Living Dead. Coordinates, 44, 44. Risk factor, E. Items, wood, ore, basic skill illustrations. Death manner. Coordinates, 44, 45. Risk factor, D+, copy. Boss, Lord of the Manor. Items, primary fertilizer, intermediate fertilizer, advanced fertilizer, search torch, intermediate skill illustration. Ghost Town. Coordinates, 44, 43. Risk factor, B+, copy. Boss, Red Melee. Items, search torch, blessed holy water, fate pointer, marauder's map, advanced skills illustrated book. Copy. Lu Shu immediately noticed that except for the city of the living dead, the other 2 locations on the map have special markings for the dungeon. And the danger is not comparable to the city of the living dead. Not only that, there are BOSSs in these copies. Heading to the dungeon area, coupled with the gray fog, is extremely dangerous. However, premium fertilizer. Lu Shu's eyes were focused on the items in Death Manor. This item really moved his heart. Primary fertilizers can speed up the growth and production of sacred trees. If you switch to high-grade fertilizer, the effect will be super doubled. With a 100-fold increase, you will definitely get huge benefits. Maybe the buffs can be superimposed, and within a few days, the primary spiritual tree can be upgraded to an intermediate spiritual tree. At this time, a prompt sounded in Lu Shu's ear. Tip. 5 meters behind you, a Sacred Tree Master adventurer appears. Ibrahimovic is a Sacred Tree Master who comes to the city of the living dead for adventure. He explored the area cautiously. After a few days, Ibrahimovic has figured out that the monsters here are basically zombies. Moreover, some gains were obtained through exploration. But now, Ibrahimovic is hungry. City of the living dead. Not even a morsel of food could be found. You can't eat the flesh of these zombies, right? Evie would rather go back to eating tree bark than eating zombie meat. At this time, ahead, a yellow-skinned mouse caught Ibrahimovic's attention. Hey, hee, although there is no pork to eat, the mouse meat seems pretty good. Although the appearance of this yellow-skinned mouse is a bit unique, as if it ran out of an anime. But Ibrahimovic was so hungry and dizzy at this time. He held the candle in his hand and cautiously approached the yellow-skinned mouse. Suddenly, in the field of vision, a second yellow-skinned mouse appeared. Then came the third, fourth, fifth. Not long after, 100 yellow-skinned mice appeared in front of Ibrahimovic. 100 pairs of eyes stared at him. At this time, the expression on Ibrahimovic's face can be viewed as a comedy. The scene suddenly froze. Sorry to bother you. Ah. Monster. Ibrahimovic instantly lost the candle in his hand and fled away into the distance. Lu Shu was speechless. He was planning to go to Death Manor and was thinking about whether to bring Ibrahimovic closer to the team. Of course, Lu Shu had no good intentions and was just thinking about finding a scapegoat to lead the charge. After all, for Lu Shu, the life of a Pikachu is definitely much more precious than Eevee. Unexpectedly, the other party directly regarded himself as a monster. Candle. Lu Shu was stunned for a moment and stepped forward. You have obtained a searchlight candle. View +5. The moment Lu Shu picked up the candle, a soft fire light dispelled the surrounding fog. And Lu Shu's field of vision has also expanded from the original 5 meters to 10 meters. Not only that, under the effect of resonance, the vision of all nearby Pikachus has been improved. Can this still happen? Lu Shu was a little surprised. It turns out that in the gray world, there are props to increase the field of vision. Correct. Death Manor, there are also search torches. The light of the torch is definitely much brighter than that of the candle. Not only that, when Lu Shu got the fire candle, she thought that only her own field of vision could be expanded, but she didn't expect that the effect of resonance could be superimposed. Perhaps, according to the rules of the gray world, the abilities of these items all act on themselves. Lu Shu thought to herself. Shaking his head, he didn't understand the rules of the gray world for the time being. Perhaps, fire candles enhance one's sensory abilities. Therefore, under the effect of resonance, all Pikachu can obtain sensory enhancement. In this way, if Lu Shu moves according to the scattered formation, Lu Shu's perception range will be expanded to 1,000 meters. Don't underestimate such a small distance. However, in the gray world, the real danger is that the range of perception is limited and you don't know where the danger will come from. The sensory amplification provided by the fire candle allows more space to respond to crises. Greatly improve the living space. Pika, everyone gathers. Lu Shu immediately directed all Pikachu to move towards the Death Manor. There is a fire candle, plus Pikachu's S-class potential, and Shock Fruit's ability. Lu Shu entered the Grey Realm dungeon with sufficient confidence. The City of the Living Dead, with Pikachu's 100,000 volts, or just an ordinary click to be precise, is enough to sweep the place. The danger coefficient of Death Manor is only D+. Ordinary monsters are not that difficult to deal with, but the boss may be a little more difficult to deal with. However, 100 Shock Fruit Pikachu rushed in, not using the reason of coaxing a D-level copy. The mighty Pikachu army maintained their formation under the command of Lu Shu, heading towards the location of Death Manor. Rush the duck, ha. Ibrahimovic ran for several kilometers, looking back several times to make sure those yellow-skinned mice were not rushing over before he stopped. Open World Public Screen. Ibrahimovic. At all members. Everyone, I encountered terrible things when I entered the gray world. Don't be afraid. Everyone in the chat box was immediately attracted by Ibrahimovic's words. They leaned back and took a deep breath. Upstairs, we are sacred tree masters who have never stepped into the gray world. We are not afraid. Please tell us. Ibrahimovic. I was surrounded by 100 yellow-skinned mice just now. Netizen. Who is the yellow-skinned rat you are talking about? Ibrahimovic. No one, in the City of the Living Dead, God knows where such a large number of yellow-skinned rats suddenly came out from, and surrounded me with a swish. It was very scary. Netizen. PFF. Ibrahimovic. Don't laugh. However, this conversation was really hilarious. All the Divine Tree Masters in the chat box could not imagine what it would be like to see an army of yellow-skinned rats suddenly appear in the terrifying gray world. Isn't this Sacred Tree Master crazy? Ha ha ha, forgive me for not being able to bear it any longer. 100 yellow-skinned mice are going to make me laugh to death. Where did that funny guy come from? The gray world is so scary. People who go inside are crazy. If I hadn't entered the gray world once, I would have almost believed it. Poor kid, he's already crazy at such a young age. A moment of silence for this crazy friend. Ibrahimovic was instantly ridiculed by countless Divine Tree Masters. Basically, no one believed a word he said. Most of the monsters in the gray world are scattered. Let's not talk about whether this army is exaggerated. Yellow-skinned mouse. Ha 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 ha. Is this trying to be flattering or making up a joke? Soon, Ibrahimovic's words were drowned in the ridicule of countless Sacred Tree Masters. His lips trembled, trying to explain something. However, in this crazy taunt, Ibrahimovic's explanation seemed so pale and weak. Death Manor. A team of 3 Divine Tree Masters has arrived nearby. Hey, go and see the world public screen. A heroic woman in military uniform suddenly said, is there a person surrounded by yellow-skinned rats in the city of the living dead? Beside, the young man frowned. Aren't we just coming from the city of the living dead? Wherever there are zombies, they are large zombies. Where did the yellow-skinned mice come from? Ha 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 ha, yellow-skinned rat. Another black-haired little boy laughed like a barbell and mocked. Isn't this guy crazy? Just when the black-haired little boy smiled and bent over, suddenly, a small yellow-skinned mouse appeared in the team's field of vision. The little boy's laughter stopped abruptly. Immediately afterwards. The second one, the third one, the fourth one. In the blink of an eye, the team of 3 was surrounded by Pikachu's army. Is this the yellow-skinned rat the madman mentioned? Seems like it. Grass. A vulgar remark rang out in unison. Almost at the same time, they fled towards the area outside Death Manor. Well, this may be a rare tacit understanding among this Sacred Tree Master team. World public screen. Oh my god, what that old man said is actually true. Yellow-skinned rats really appeared near the city of the living dead. So many yellow-skinned rats. Where did these things come from? Gone. I thought that old man was lying, but I didn't expect that yellow-skinned mice really appeared, and there were countless yellow-skinned mice. I was scared to death. The black-haired little boy and others ran away desperately until they returned to the city of the living dead, and then opened the world public screen. They entered a long string of text in the chat box, which attracted the attention of other Sacred Tree Masters. You couldn't be the ones invited by that old man last time, right? At Ibrahimovic. How much did the brother spend to hire him? He's a bit professional. There is no money to trade in this world, how can I ask for help? Are they also crazy? Guys, please tell your stories. The black-haired little boy quickly typed. I use my 20 centimeters to guarantee that none of what I say next will be false. As long as one word is false, it will be 1 centimeter shorter. While wandering near the city of the living dead, we encountered a large group of yellow-skinned rats. At first, under the obstruction of the gray fog, a yellow-skinned mouse appeared. I thought it was not a powerful monster. In the blink of an eye, a large army of hundreds of yellow-skinned rats suddenly attacked, appearing like ghosts from the gray mist. Just finished this description. Ibrahimovic also appeared on the world public screen with a face full of excitement. Yeah, that's it. Brother, the situation I encountered at that time was similar to yours. Real or fake? The people in the chat box were stunned for a while. I originally thought these people might be professional actors hired by Ibrahimovic, but one person used 20 centimeters to guarantee it. It doesn't look like they are fake. No. What if someone is actually 0 centimeters? Now. Ibrahimovic was moved to tears. Finally there is someone who has the same problem as me. During this time, Ibrahimovic became a madman in the eyes of billions of Divine Tree Masters. Now, someone who has suffered the same thing appears, and there is finally a chance to redress the injustice. At this time, a window appeared in front of Ibrahimovic. The Sacred Tree Master, Mu Tingfeng, invites you to conduct a transaction. Mu Tingfeng. Ibrahimovic was stunned. He had some impression of the name. In the recent trading interface, many items sold by this Sacred Tree Master appeared. Even in the forum, there are people discussing whether Mu Tingfeng is a big shot and guessing what level of talent he or she has awakened. Choose accept. Mu Tingfeng. Tell me what happened in the dungeon. Then, primary fertilizer is placed on the trading panel. Obviously, this is to exchange items for information. The boss is so awesome. When Ibrahimovic saw the benefit, his eyes straightened, and he quickly poured out the entire situation like taking out the trash. When I was exploring the towns in the city of the living dead, I was originally looking for food. I saw a yellow-skinned mouse and thought it might be edible, so I went over there. Who knew that in the blink of an eye, I would be surrounded by yellow-skinned mice. And then I ran away. There was a moment of silence. Mu Tingfeng replied, I know. Confirm transaction. Ibrahimovic suddenly felt happy. With primary fertilizer, he can grow fruits faster. If he only needs to eat grass for one more month, he might be able to be liberated. Thank you, yellow-skinned mouse. Ibrahimovic said silently in his heart. If there were no yellow-skinned rats, then we might not really have to eat zombie meat in the future. If you always eat grass, you will die, right? Will it? Unconsciously, the yellow-skinned mouse turned out to be Ibrahimovic's savior. An island. Mu Tingfeng sat cross-legged under the sacred tree, lost in thought. At this moment, a message popped up in the chat box in front of him. Sister Mu, how's the situation? The four of them encountered similar situations. Mu Tingfeng replied, it's just that the other three people met the yellow-skinned mouse on the edge of the city of the living dead, near the Death Manor, which is at the coordinates 44, 45. And Ibrahimovic is just an ordinary adventurer. He doesn't have the guts to get close to the edge of the copy. Therefore, it can be inferred that these two groups of people were not yellow-skinned rats that they met in the same place. The chat box was silent for a while, and the other party seemed to be analyzing the information. Is what they say true? It should be true. Mu listened to the wind and said, this kind of yellow-skinned mouse can move very fast, and most people will not make up such obviously contradictory lies. If Ibrahimovic, the little boy in black and others are colluding, it was impossible for them to encounter the same wave of monsters in two far-apart locations in such a short period of time. Lies will always be as seamless as possible. But Mu Tingfeng knew very well that there were never rules in the gray world, and they could not be measured by common sense and logic. So where did this yellow-skinned rat come from? The other party asked in confusion. Maybe there are changes in the copy. Mu Tingfeng's eyes became a little darker. Now, some time has passed since the launch of the Divine Tree game. But there has been no news of the invasion of the gray world. This seeming calmness, no one knows if it is a sign before the storm. The appearance of the yellow-skinned mouse made Mu Tingfeng alert. During this period, be careful when exploring the gray realm. Don't go near any copies. When you encounter a yellow-skinned mouse, retreat at the speed of light and don't linger. Yes, Sister Mu, the other party quickly replied. In fact, Mu Tingfeng was not the only one. The Sacred Tree Masters who went to explore the gray world next became more cautious than before. A small number of veterans who have explored the gray world for a period of time are even more vigilant than newcomers. These Divine Tree Masters know that there are copies in the gray world. They originally wanted to explore the dungeon area, but after hearing about the yellow-skinned rat, they gave up the idea. And most of the Sacred Tree Masters have been shrinking in their own islands, not daring to step into the gray world. Across the screen, they are used to eating green grass. At this moment, they can leisurely watch other Sacred Tree Masters who have entered the gray world, and different stories and jokes are updated every day. After hearing about the yellow-skinned rat, these cowards completely gave up the idea of venturing to the gray world. At this time, Lu Shu didn't know that the yellow-skinned mouse incident he had already caused an uproar in the entire Divine Tree game. He led a large army of hundreds of Pikachus into the dungeon area of Death Manor. Tip: 10 meters ahead, an upgraded wild boar appears. Upgraded wild boar. Type: alien beast. Risk factor: D. Sensing range: 5 meters. Strength: 20. Speed, 10. Defense, 25. Description. The upgraded wild boars, despite their simple and honest appearance, are actually quite destructive. Sizzle, sizzle. There was another familiar electric current. However, when Pikachu's electric shock hit the upgraded boar, it didn't kill it instantly. Not dead. Lu Shu was stunned. The upgraded wild boar is rougher and thicker than I thought. After being attacked, the upgraded wild boar also instantly discovered Pikachu next to it. It made an angry pig noise. The upgraded boar launched a charge towards Pikachu. 100,000 volts. When he killed the zombies just now, Pikachu didn't even need to use 100,000 volts. An ordinary electric shock could kill him instantly. But the upgraded wild boar has a very high defense, reaching 25, which is several times that of zombies. It takes a stronger attack to kill it. When a powerful current of 100,000 volts descends like thunder and strikes the upgraded wild boar. You killed an upgraded wild boar, pork +3. Lu Shu looked at the pork in the warehouse and his face darkened. This upgraded wild boar meat. Can it really be eaten? Upgraded wild boar. Type. Food. Note. Pork has high energy, which can resist hunger. Since the system description is food, it should be edible, right? Lu Shu thought to herself. Even if it can't be eaten, it should be able to be sold on the trading interface. Anyway, compared to zombies, at least the upgraded wild boar has meat. The output in the dungeon must be much more than in City of the Living Dead. Lu Shu thought to himself. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Only the most common materials can be collected outside the dungeon, but the output inside the dungeon is the bulk of the gray world. Lu Shu ordered Pikachu's formation to change. 4 Pikachu form a team and move forward together. The damage caused by 100,000 volts to the upgraded wild boar overflowed. This is wasteful. According to Lu Shu's calculations, if 4 Pikachus release electric shocks at the same time, they can instantly kill the upgraded wild boar. In this way, more mental energy can be saved. Maybe when you kill the boss, you need to use Shock Fruit's ability. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if we don't have enough mental energy by then? Stay in formation. Pikachu's army begins its sweep once again. You killed an upgraded wild boar, pork +3. You killed an upgraded wild boar, pork +5. After half a day of sweeping. Unknowingly, the number of upgraded wild boar in Lu Shu's warehouse has reached 500. I guess it won't be a problem if you eat it for a year. Even if you put it on the trading interface, you can exchange it with other sacred tree masters for some fruits, primary fertilizers, etc., right? Suddenly, a danger alert sounded in Lu Shu's ears. Warn, piranha appears 10 meters ahead. Tip, intermediate fertilizer appears 10 meters ahead. Piranha, type, upgraded plant, risk factor, D+. Sensing range, 10 meters. Strength, 30. Speed, 20. Defense, 20. Description. The upgraded piranha is good at capturing human scent. When you get close, its vines will attack instinctively. When Lu Shu noticed the piranha, 2 vines turned into 2 afterimages and swept towards a Pikachu. What a speed! Lu Shu was secretly shocked. Pikachu reacted and quickly used Click. However, the vines only trembled slightly, and then continued to wrap around Pikachu as if nothing was wrong. Electric immunity. A line of prompts appeared in front of Lu Shu. Plants are conductors. When encountering a lightning attack, the plant will conduct electricity into the ground. Therefore, Pikachu's lightning ability is actually restrained by piranha. See that lightning strikes are immune. Pikachu was obviously stunned. His attack was ineffective. At this time, a voice sounded near Pikachu. Pikachu, use Shock Fruit's power. Lu Shu shouted loudly. Pikachu responded and stretched out his small palm. In the blink of an eye, he saw 2 vines spanning 10 meters and wrapping around Pikachu. Sudden, a strange physical energy burst out from Pikachu's palm. Boom! The vine was instantly destroyed by Shock Fruit's power. Then, the yellow figure quickly moved in front of the piranha. Call him over with a slap. The piranha was immediately shot away. Who would have thought that such a Pikachu would rush over and kill a piranha that was more than 10 times its size? A small body contains great power. This picture is simply too shocking. I didn't expect that there is a second power. Lu Shu smiled. Piranha is immune to lightning skills and physical attacks from shock fruit. I saw a bag of fertilizer placed behind the piranha. Lu Shu walked over immediately. Ding. You have obtained intermediate fertilizer X1. Ding. You killed the piranha and obtained the seeds of the piranha. The description of intermediate fertilizer is similar to that of primary fertilizer, but you can guess that the effect will definitely be better. What concerned Lu Shu was the seeds of the piranha. Piranha seeds. Type. Seed. Function. Buried in the soil and nourished by the sacred tree, defensive piranha flowers grow. System. If the seeds of the piranha are buried, will there be blessings of spring recovery? Lu Shu's heart moved and she asked. Have. The system simply replies. Do I need to occupy the position of the subspecies spiritual tree? Unnecessary. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. That's right. If the seeds of the piranha are nourished by the sacred tree, then your talent will be useful. Moreover, piranha does not occupy the position of the subspecies spiritual tree. In this way, if you get 1 piranha flower seed, you will get 100 piranha flowers. By then, your island will have an army of piranha flowers. Continue towards the depths of the manor. En route, Pikachu's large army swept away several more piranhas. Ding. You killed the piranha and obtained the seeds of the piranha. Ding. You killed the piranha and obtained the seeds of the piranha. Unknowingly, Lu Shu had collected 10 piranha seeds and a total of 5 packets of mid-grade fertilizer. It can be said to be a great harvest. At this moment, a roar sounded next to him. Who broke into my manor? Warn. 10 meters ahead appeared the boss of Death Manor, the Lord of the Manor. Lord of the Manor. Category. Cursed Living Dead. Risk Factor. B. Sensing Range. 15 meters. Strength. 50. Speed. 30. Defense. 100. Skills. Pounds. Undead Armor. Cursed Plant. Description. The owner of this manor encountered a witch's curse when disaster struck. From then on, the warm and sunny man turned into a complete monster. Pika, everyone gathers. Lu Shu immediately summoned all the Pikachus. I didn't expect to meet the boss so soon. The enemy's perception range is 15 meters. When Lu Shu discovered the owner of the manor, the boss had already entered an attack state. The sudden attack left Lu Shu unable to react. Anyone who breaks into my manor will die. The owner of the manor shouted loudly. A layer of black mist-shrouded armor appeared on his body. This armor looks like it is made of innocent souls. Launch a pounce. The owner of the manor moved very fast, and he was in front of him in the blink of an eye. Lightning strike. Lu Shu reacted immediately and directed the battle. The Pikachu around him jointly unleashed a lightning strike on the lord of the manor. Sizzle, sizzle. There was a harsh sound of electricity on the field. The owner of the manor suddenly suffered severe lightning damage. The body that rushed and hit also stopped. Woo! A piercing scream came from the owner of the manor. The armor on his body seemed to be composed of dead souls, and when attacked by lightning, it turned into a mass of evil energy. The armor composed of innocent souls resisted lightning strikes, but was broken in an instant. A shrill scream echoed across the field. This dead soul armor was penetrated by lightning and turned into black mist and dispersed. The owner of the manor received a double critical hit from lightning. Thunder and lightning attributes have a restraining effect on ghosts. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. Ghost armor is immune to ordinary physical attacks. However, Pikachu's lightning ability has a strong restraining effect on it. The damage caused was beyond Lu Shu's imagination. But the next second, a curtain of light suddenly appeared next to the owner of the manor. Activate the skill of Curse Plant. From the light curtain, an army of hundreds of piranha flowers was summoned. Eat them, the owner of the manor shouted angrily. The piranha army also uses vine entanglement. Suddenly, vines from all directions covered the entire field and spread towards the surrounding Pikachu. The ability to use shock fruit. Lu Shu commanded calmly. After a small wave of fighting just now, all the Pikachus have gathered at this moment. For a moment, hundreds of Pikachus use shock fruit skills on piranha at the same time. Boom! An invisible aftermath spread in all directions in an instant. Cracks appeared on the ground, spreading around like spider webs. Everything seems extremely fragile in the face of this power. The vines of the piranha were all destroyed, and together with their bodies, they had no ability to resist under this terrifying power, and were immediately torn to pieces by Shock Fruit's superpower. You actually killed my beloved flower. The Lord of the Manor's voice trembled with excessive anger. He has completely lost his mind. Warn. The owner of the manor entered a violent state. All basic attributes are doubled. Please handle with caution. The next second, the owner of the manor moved faster and turned into an afterimage to kill. Pika 100,000 volts. Lu Shu commands all Pikachu to jointly use 100,000 volt skills on the boss. The owner of the manor is also a kind of living dead, and the damage caused by lightning has a restraining effect on him. 100 Pikachus turned on their power, and 100,000 volts poured out at the same time. At that moment, the entire manor was as bright as day. Thunder light cleanses the sky. Z-la-la, Z-la-la. The sound of violent electricity sounded in the strange manner. The owner of the manor was suddenly hit by 100,000 volts x 100, and almost no body was left, and he was about to turn into ashes. This is the power of 100 Pikachu. When 100,000 volts are activated at the same time, even the owner of the manor in a violent state will inevitably be killed instantly. The moment he killed the lord of the manor, several notification sounds came from Lu Shu's ears. Ding! Congratulations on killing the boss of Death Manor, the lord of the manor. You have obtained Piranha Seeds X10. You have obtained the Skill Illustration, Intermediate Minor. You have obtained Advanced Fertilizer X3. You have obtained Search Torch X1. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. This revealed a lot of things. There are 3 packages of high-grade fertilizers alone. The Intermediate Skill Illustrated book also popped up smoothly. Detection. You have learned to be a junior miner. You can upgrade to an intermediate miner through the skill illustration. Would you like to choose to learn skill illustrations? Yes. Congratulations on becoming an intermediate miner. Lu Shu's ore production list has also been updated. Sling Chariot, Ore X20. Observation Tower, Ore X50. Ore Defense Line, Ore X10,000. Not only will there be more types of ores to make, the quality of the finished products will also increase, but the construction speed will also speed up. Compared with carpentry, ore will play a more critical role in building a defense line. Of course, there are also projects that combine carpentry and ore, which requires both skills to reach a certain level. And one more bonus, Search Torch. Lu Shu took out the search torch from the warehouse and raised it. Vision +10. A gentle burst of fire dispelled the surrounding darkness. Original. The detection range was only 10 meters away. At this moment, due to the superimposed effect of the fire candle, it became 20 meters. And when, resonating, with 100 Pikachus. As long as he sets up an exploration formation, Lu Shu can gain a sensory range of 2,000 meters. Even for a boss-level lord like the Lord of the Manor, the range of perception is only 15 meters. Just now, the owner of the manor had already launched an attack, and Lu Shu got the hint. In the Grey World, the range of perception determines who can strike first. If 100 Pikachus weren't nearby, the owner of the manor relies on the undead armor that is immune to most physical attacks and the ability to summon piranha flowers. For ordinary sacred tree masters, it is simply a nightmare enemy. At this time, another reminder appeared in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Congratulations to Tree Master, because you are the first Tree Master to kill the boss in the Grey World, you will receive the first kill achievement reward. So I am the first Tree Master to clear the boss in the Grey World. Lu Shu was slightly stunned and showed an expression of surprise. There are actually achievement rewards. Hurry up and click on the rewards to see. Prize. Special Skills Illustrated Book, Decomposition. Do you choose to study? Yes. Lu Shu immediately chose to study. Since it is a skill illustration released by the achievement system, how can there be no reason not to learn it? Soon, a new skill panel appeared in front of Lu Shu. Skill. Decomposition. Level. Advanced. Function. It can decompose excess items and obtain corresponding materials. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. System. If you decompose the redundant subspecies spiritual trees, what can you get? He has not forgotten that the production times of the Life Fruit Tree and Devil Fruit Tree have been exhausted. It's a waste to occupy this position. System. You get some high-grade wood and free up space for planting spiritual trees. What a good thing. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. After the production times of the subspecies spiritual tree are gone, using the ability to decompose can not only obtain additional high-level materials, but also free up the location of the spiritual tree. In addition, if the miner's skill breaks through in the future and the defense line needs to be rebuilt, then using decomposition can also make the best use of it. It takes apart very quickly. This reminder not only fell in Lu Shu's ears. World Public Screen. The system prompts. Congratulations to the Sacred Tree Master, Shuren, for winning the first kill reward of the Grey Realm dungeon. When the news of the first kill appeared on the public screen and was broadcast on the radio. Now, all the Sacred Tree Masters were shocked. Almost all the Sacred Tree Masters were discussing in the World Public Screen at this moment. Dear me, who is so awesome that he actually got the first kill in the Grey Realm dungeon? Isn't this too strong? Is someone going to hit me? Am I not dreaming? There are people who can kill monsters as difficult as the Grey Realm dungeon level. A few days ago, I was chased by a wild boar for a long time. I finally got a map, and then I realized that this place is not even a dungeon, it is just a peripheral area. Some big guys have already killed the boss. Woo woo woo, boss, don't lift the tree anymore, just take me with you and I'll lift it for you as you please. Ouch, you are so disgusting upstairs. My sister is a little Lolita. Brother, can you send me the coordinates of the Grey World? I can redeem them at will at Lu Shu Ren, heart emoticon. That ID above, I remember you claiming to be a muscular man in the chat box a few days ago. How come you have become a shemale now? Uncle Loli, the water is too deep and terrifying. Another island. Mu Yutingfang saw the familiar ID of Shuren, and instantly froze on the spot. How could someone kill the boss so quickly? An intelligence group that controls the Grey World. Mu Yutingfang knows better than anyone how terrifying the monsters in the dungeon are. Without talents above S level, it is absolutely impossible to kill any monster in such a dangerous dungeon. The attributes are too high. And Mu Yutingfang actually had some information about the boss. Any boss has strong skills. The defensive attributes are quite high. The key is, the boss's perception range is generally much higher than that of the Divine Tree Master. As early as when the Divine Tree Master found the boss had already entered combat mode. Therefore, once you enter the dungeon, you don't even know when you will encounter the boss. You will be attacked at any time. The risk factor is too high. A while ago, Mu Yutingfang predicted that in the next few months, no one would be able to pass the boss in the Grey World. Who knew, I would be slapped in the face today. In the chat box in front of you, a text popped up again. Sister Mu, what do you think of this? Mu Yu listened to the wind and pondered for a moment. Honestly, she had eaten Lu Shu's fruit and knew that the effect of this spiritual energy fruit was very limited. But now the Shuren has obtained the first kill of the Grey World copy. This made Mu Yutingfang start to wonder. Does this guy have other hidden talents? At this time, World Public Screen. The little boy in black and others who were scared away by the yellow-skinned rat last time seemed to remember something and jumped out quickly and said, "Wait, we met that group of yellow-skinned mice not long ago near Death Manor. I doubt that this boss was killed by the Divine Tree Master at all. The yellow-skinned rat must have fought with the boss of Death Manor and both sides were injured, so the other Divine Tree Masters who were watching the battle took advantage." Everyone in the chat box was stunned. Is there such a thing? The yellow-skinned rat. Can he really fight with the monsters in the dungeon? Doesn't this sound too ridiculous? At this time, many big shots emerged from their dive state and came out to speak. Actually, this is not impossible. There are no rules in the Grey World. When I was exploring the dungeon a few days ago, I also saw monsters fighting each other. According to our intelligence, there are not many Sacred Tree Masters who are strong enough to kill the dungeon boss alone. And the Grey World is very large. It takes half a day to move a single coordinate. Almost every Sacred Tree Master's island is separated by a large Grey World. At this point in time, there is basically no situation of forming a team to go in and kill. If the yellow-skinned rat and the manor boss were fighting each other, and other Sacred Tree Masters took advantage, this can still be explained. Everyone was suddenly startled. After getting the first kill of the dungeon, the treeman blew up a group of big guys who had done a lot of exploration in the gray world. Most of the sacred tree masters who spoke are familiar to everyone here. They have all sold items on the trading interface. Now that the big bosses have come forward to speak out, it is very likely that it was not the tree man who actually killed the boss, but that he just happened to get an advantage. At this time, the little boy in black and the others are going to regret it. If I had known earlier, I would have followed these yellow-skinned rats and entered the dungeon together. In this case, how could anyone else pick up such amazing luck? I shouldn't have run away then. After thinking about it, I simply missed 100 million. Sister Mew, why don't you do the math and see if it was the boss that the yellow-skinned rat killed? A message came from the chat box in front of Mu Yutingfang. Good. Think for a moment. Mu Yutingfang nodded. She muttered in her mind, watch the scene when the master of the manor was killed. Suddenly, her eyes burst out with a mysterious light. It's like reflecting the stars in the universe. Immediately afterwards, the scene in front of Mu Yutingfang changed dramatically. Hundreds of yellow-skinned rats surrounded the owner of the manor and activated an extremely strong electric current. That incomparable terrifying power instantly caused Mu Yutingfang to be deeply shocked. She was stunned for a long time, but she didn't come back to her senses. Using this skill seems to come at a considerable cost to Mu Yutingfang. She coughed slightly and her expression became a little weaker. Sister Mew, have you activated that skill? Asked the man in the chat box. Mew Yu listened to the wind and calmed down for a while before replying. It was indeed the yellow-skinned rat that killed the owner of the manor. Although you can't directly see the other person's expression. But judging from the fact that the chat box fell into silence. Obviously, this fact can bring a huge shock to everyone. The yellow-skinned rat would actually take the initiative to kill the boss in the gray world. Moreover, a sacred tree master named Shuren took advantage. Isn't this guy very lucky? Mu Yutingfang was also speechless. She has the skills to see certain things, commonly known as precognition ability. When Mu Yutingfang was trying to figure out who had killed the master of the manor, the hundreds of yellow-skinned mice that appeared in front of Mu Yutingfang basically confirmed the fact for her. Send the order and tell everyone to be alert to the existence of the yellow-skinned mouse. This may be a highly mobile neutral monster in the gray world, and it is very powerful. Based on the current intelligence, this monster is not very aggressive towards humans for the time being, but we do not rule out the possibility that it has not entered the range of perception. If you encounter one, come back and report it immediately. Don't act rashly, let alone provoke them. Yes, the chat box replied briefly. Mu Yutingfang took a deep breath. The fruit of the tree plutterer might not be as powerful as I thought. Only, isn't this guy very lucky? By the way, if the tree-pulling man can get rewards from the dungeon, will his fruits also be upgraded? Mu Yu clicked her tongue when listening to the wind, suddenly feeling greedy. If that guy's sacred tree is upgraded, will the fruit taste better? Unknowingly, I haven't eaten Lu Shu fruit for several days. I miss you so much. After the boss is killed, this area becomes a safe zone. Scan again. Got several packets of primary fertilizer. After a day of fighting, Lu Shu asked all Pikachu to be on standby near the manor. After releasing so many powers, most Pikachu have entered a state of exhaustion and need to rest to regain their mental strength. Ding! Your advanced aura fruit tree has reached maturity, and the advanced aura fruit plus 100. Lu Shu's expression was suddenly shocked. After such a long battle. Before you know it, the high-level spiritual energy fruits have been harvested. Can you go back and control my body first while maintaining the resonance state? This thought just crossed Lu Shu's mind. Immediately afterwards, the scene in front of me was back to the sacred tree island. Sunny. The flowers and plants are fragrant. After exploring the gray world, Lu Shu discovered this island, which was particularly pleasing to the eye. The state of resonance is still there. Lu Shu was surprised to find that using the resonance power, she could switch between Pikachu and her own body at will. In this case, whatever happens on the island, you just need to cut back and that's it. As for Pikachu who remains in the gray world, there are 99 companions guarding you. As long as you don't encounter a boss battle, there is basically no danger. Get out of the cabin. I saw the advanced spiritual energy fruit tree, already covered with crystal clear fruits. Like the blue sky, the appearance of the high-grade spiritual energy fruit seems to be poured into the most beautiful art of nature. Looking from a distance, the fruits swayed in the wind, seeming to merge with the sky. Lu Shu immediately stepped forward, picked off a high-grade spiritual energy fruit, and bit it gently. Suddenly, when the unparalleled juice spreads on the tip of the tongue, it is the ultimate umami taste that can never be found in the world. The moment the tips of your teeth touch the fruit, the spiritual energy fruit instantly melts in your mouth and flows into your esophagus. Your whole body suddenly feels nourished by the ocean of natural spiritual energy. The pure and incomparable spiritual energy travels up and down Lu Shu's body. Boom, just a bite. He actually broke through to the 6th level of Qi training. The effect of advanced fruits is also great. Lu Shu couldn't help but click her tongue. He quickly sat down cross-legged, and after eating a high-level spiritual energy fruit, he began to sit cross-legged and practice. Run, 10,000 yuan ju. Boom, there was another breakthrough sound. After the whole high-grade spiritual energy fruit is consumed, Lu Shu's cultivation has reached the 7th level of Qi training. And there are 99 such fruits on the tree. Picked 10 in one go. Lu Shu began to run the 10,000 yuan ju, non-stop, practicing at the fastest speed. Boom, boom, the sound of breakthrough sounded 3 times in a row. The 8th level of Qi training. The 9th level of Qi training. Finally, a ray of light appeared on Lu Shu's body. As the brilliance washes over his whole body. The next second, Lu Shu breaks through to a new level. Figure, Divine Tree Master, Tree Raider. Power, Resonance, Skills, Beginner Carpentry, Intermediate Minor, Advanced Decomposition. Cultivation Level, Acquired Level 1. Talents, 100 times increase SSS-Level, Fruit of All Realms SSS-Level, Spring Resurgence SSS-Level. Luck, E. Spirit, B. Sacred Tree, 1, breaking through to the acquired realm. Besides, my mental power has also been upgraded to B level. Lu Shu took a deep breath. He stretched out his fingers slightly to gather the spiritual energy in his body. Suddenly, a stream of white air burst out and landed on the grass 5 meters away, leaving a few inches of hole. Just a casual blow. Acquired Heaven Realm monks can not only hurt people from a distance, but they can also do a lot of damage. Compared with the Qi training state, he is stronger and the battle lasts longer, and now he can shoot through the opponent. Belch, Lu Shu burped, smoothly break through to a new level. However, there is still a lot of spiritual energy in his body that has not been digested. If you eat the spiritual energy fruit at this time, the effect will be bad. It is necessary to wait for some time while consolidating one's new breakthrough state. By the way, let's try out the newly acquired skills. Lu Shu has not forgotten that during this period of time, he explored the gray world and acquired the skills of carpentry, miner, and decomposition. Try your carpentry skills first. Do you want to consume wood x5 and make a wooden table x1? Yes. The next second, Lu Shu stretched out her right hand. A white light appeared before his eyes. After 1 second of reading, a brand new wooden table with relatively good craftsmanship appeared in front of me. This ability is really convenient, Lu Shu said with a smile. Next, he spent X20 wood to make a row of wooden frames. When the wooden frame is ready, Lu Shu took out the upgraded wild boar from the warehouse and hung it on it to prepare bacon. Then, come to the edge of the island. Do you want to consume X 10,000 of ore to create a line of defense? Yes. The next second, around the sacred tree island, white lights appeared next to the gray mist. It took a full 10 minutes to read the article. Finally, the defense line is constructed. At a glance, a majestic city wall composed of ore surrounds the island, like a natural barrier, separating the gray world and the island. If there is an invasion from the gray world, at least, this line of defense can resist for a while and give Lu Shu enough time to react. There are also piranha seeds. Lu Shu obtained a total of 20 piranha seeds in the copy of Death Manor. With the talent of Spring Resurrection, 2,000 piranha flowers can be produced. Although this kind of monster is at the level of cannon fodder, it is better in numbers. 20 seeds were buried around the ore. Product: piranha. Production cycle: 3.65 days, 365 100ths. With the ore defense line. Plus more than 2,000 piranha flowers. Before you know it, Lu Shu's island will also have an army. Return to the sacred tree. The primary aura fruit tree, life fruit tree and devil fruit tree have all completed their last production. After Lu Shu put all the primary spiritual energy fruits into the warehouse. Activate decomposition. You decomposed the aura fruit tree, high-grade wood plus 450. You decomposed the life fruit tree, high-grade wood plus 600. You decomposed the devil fruit tree, high-grade wood plus 650. During this decomposition, a total of 1,700 high-grade wood was harvested. It is indeed a skill rewarded by the achievement system. It's so useful. Lu Shu couldn't help but sigh. At this moment, a voice sounded in his ears. Ding! You got a ninja fruit. The ninja fruit has reached maturity. Lu Shu looked in the direction of the sacred tree. A black fruit grows from the branches and leaves, as deep as a ninja in the dark night. Ninja fruit. Can obtain a ninjutsu ability. Sure enough, it's a supernatural fruit. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. Step forward. After decomposing the life fruit tree, primary aura fruit tree and devil fruit tree. Now, Lu Shu has 3 more redundant subspecies spirit tree slots. Bury the ninja fruit in the soil. Soon, a new subspecies spiritual tree rose up from the ground under the nourishment of the divine tree. Ninja fruit tree. Variety. Subspecies spirit tree. Product. Ninja fruit. Cycle. 3.65 days, 365 100ths. Production times remaining. 2. Ninja fruit is not as rare as devil fruit. However, the number of productions reached 2. This means I can harvest a total of 200 ninja fruits. Besides that, the ninja fruit is certainly not like the devil fruit, where you can only take one type. This means that Lu Shu herself can also gain a superpower. And the extra fruits can be left for Pikachu to take. Correct. High-end fertilizer. Lu Shu remembered that she wasn't Death Manor, but she had obtained high-grade fertilizer. Now, the time to use the sacred tree primary fertilizer has come. It's time to change to a new fertilizer. The 100-fold increase, coupled with high-grade fertilizer, will increase the growth of the sacred tree, which is very exciting. Do you want to use advanced fertilizer X1? Yes. Your sacred tree is absorbing high-grade fertilizer, and its growth points are plus 50. Your sacred tree is absorbing high-grade fertilizer, and its growth points are plus 50. At this time, it suddenly started to rain lightly. It's been a long time since it rained. This wave of rain can be described as timely rain. The water in Lu Shu's big basin has been used to water the sacred tree during this period and is almost out of water. In this way, not only the water reserves are replenished. The sacred tree has received double buff blessing. Absorb rainwater, absorb high-grade fertilizer. Under superposition, the growth rate of the sacred tree has increased horribly. Lu Shu's heart moved and she opened the panel. Sacred tree. Stage. Primary spirit tree. Sunlight. 110 per day, 1.1x 100. Aura. 110 per day, 1.1x 100. Subspecies spirit tree remaining capacity, 2. Product. Fruit of life. Production cycle. 2 days 900 450ths equals 2. Growth points. 3,625, 9.9x 100 equals 990 per day. Next stage. Intermediate spiritual tree, 5,000 growth points. With the increase of high-grade fertilizer and rainwater, the growth rate of the sacred tree has reached nearly 1,000 per day. Unconsciously, the growth point of the sacred tree has reached 3,625. It only takes 2 days to grow into an intermediate spiritual tree. By then, whether it is the grade of the fruits produced, the remaining number of subspecies spiritual trees, or even the number of fruits produced at the same time, they will all be improved. What surprised Lu Shu the most was fruit of life. After waiting for several rounds, the next product of the sacred tree is finally the fruit of life. This time, the ripening cycle of the fruit of life has increased a lot. Under normal circumstances, it takes 900 days to hatch. It is also because the fruits produced by the sacred tree will be of higher and higher grade, and the maturity period will definitely increase accordingly. However, but Lu Shu has high-grade fertilizer. The growth rate of 4.5 times became 450 times under the 100-fold increase. It takes 900 days of wind and sun to grow the fruit of life. With Lu Shu, it only takes 2 days. Ninja fruit tree. 100 fruits that originally took a year to harvest, now, with a 450-fold increase, can reach the first production cycle in less than a day. It's so cool. Lu Shu couldn't help but smile inside. The time to wait for a good harvest does not seem to take that long. Cultivation reaches the acquired state. Now, not only has Lu Shu's mental strength been greatly improved, but even the consumption from the previous battle has been fully restored. Just when he was about to use resonance to return to the Grey World Pikachu, an invitation suddenly popped up in front of Lu Shu. The Sacred Tree Master, Mu Tingfeng, invites you to conduct a transaction. Agree. When the trading panel opens, Mu Tingfeng put primary fertilizer into the transaction box. Do you still have the spiritual energy fruit? I want to exchange it with you. Sorry, no primary fertilizer. Lu Shu decisively refused. Just kidding. Now the primary fertilizer can be thrown into the trading interface to exchange for other things. I still have 2 packs of high-grade fertilizer. There are even more intermediate fertilizers than can be used up. Mu Tingfeng's heart moved slightly. She also guessed that Lu Shu got the first kill of the first boss and definitely got a big advantage in the dungeon. But, if you don't have good fruit to eat, you will die. Mu Tingfeng. I can exchange it with you for a superpower fruit, but you need to give me that fruit regularly. What kind of superpower fruit? The next second, the primary fertilizer on the trading panel was replaced by a dark purple fruit by Mu Tingfeng. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly, and she clicked on the message to view. Teleport fruit. Type: superpower fruit. Function: able to mark between 2 points and then teleport. It's actually a teleportation fruit. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. This kind of fruit is not a particularly advanced teleportation. To put it simply, you can mark the places you have visited and then teleport them back and forth. Although it is not a high-end fruit, due to the recent increase in the number of sacred tree masters who have entered the Grey World to explore, this kind of fruit is very popular in the market. There is a price but no market. Unexpectedly, Mu Tingfeng could even produce this kind of fruit. Okay, I can exchange it with you. Lu Shu quickly agreed. Mu Tingfeng said, I need 3 days to get one of your fruits. Tree Raider. No, 7 days at most. My production cycle is 7 days. Playing the game of lowering prices. Do all children know this? How could Lu Shu not know what Mu Tingfeng was thinking? This little trick of raising prices and lowering expectations is of no use to him anymore. However, 7 days was obviously within Mu Tingfeng's expectations. Okay, 7 days then. Mu Tingfeng felt a little depressed. Did you spend the price of a superpower fruit just to satisfy your cravings once a week? It seems a bit of a loss when I think about it. Mu Tingfeng said, I have used the superpower fruit to exchange for your fruit. Are there any gifts? Lu Shu thought for a while. He placed another fruit on top. It is an advanced spiritual energy fruit. As for why better fruits should be used as gifts, Lu Shu actually has a deeper meaning. Mu Tingfeng's eyes moved slightly. This extra fruit, she didn't expect that the other party would agree to give it away so quickly, and also give him another special fruit. Originally, Mu Tingfeng was thinking about how to make more money, but in the end, the other party seemed to take the initiative to gain some money for himself. That being the case, let's seal the deal. A prompt sounded in Lu Shu's ear. Ding! You have obtained a teleportation fruit. When the transaction is completed, Lu Shu immediately chose to swallow the teleportation fruit. This kind of fruit only needs to be used by yourself and is not intended to be exchanged in the trading place. First, this may reveal his ability, and the enemies in the Grey World may not only be monsters, but also other sacred tree masters. Secondly, as for exchanging higher level fruits, Lu Shu set his sights on Mu Tingfeng. This woman is not simple, and Lu Shu also saw that she was very interested in her fruits. In this case, why not buy more advanced spiritual energy fruits and exchange them directly with Mu Tingfeng? Not only can you hide your abilities, but you can also exchange low-cost high-grade spiritual energy fruits for good things. After swallowing the teleportation fruit, a prompt sounded in his ears. Ding! You have gained a new power, teleportation. Lu Shu had more knowledge about the use of teleportation powers in his mind. Before using teleportation, you need to engrave a teleportation array. The method is also quite simple. You only need to consume mental energy to carve a magic circle pattern on the spot. According to the method in his mind, Lu Shu closed his eyes, concentrated his energy, and carved the pattern of the magic circle on the ground. As the strange light continued to outline on the ground. Not for long. Near the sacred tree, a teleportation array with a radius of about 5 meters suddenly appeared. Moreover, with the power of resonance, Lu Shu can freely switch back and forth between Pikachu and the island. Using Pikachu's body, you can create a teleportation array in the Grey World. It's equivalent to having the ability to quickly return to the city at any time. Even if the Grey World starts to invade the island, Pikachu can come back in time to fight. Ding! Your advanced aura fruit tree has reached the production cycle, and the advanced aura fruit plus 100. Lu Shu's eyes lit up and she secretly said in her heart. It is indeed a high-grade fertilizer. The production cycle of subspecies spiritual trees is generally 365 days. This increase will take less than a day to bear fruit. The advanced Reiki fruit tree has reached its second production cycle. Fruits as translucent as the sky grow all over the tree, and they are quite eye-catching at first glance. There are so many fruits, I can't finish them all. Lu Shu smiled bitterly. Even if it is used to cultivate immortality, so many fruits cannot be digested. Correct. I can't finish eating, so why don't I just give it to Pikachu? As long as you use the teleportation array to teleport Pikachu back from the Grey World, you can swallow the aura fruit to increase your potential. The ability to use resonance. The field of view switches again. Grey Realm, Death Manor. Switch to Pikachu's body. Lu Shu opened her eyes immediately. After he woke up, the first thing he did was to start carving a teleportation array on the spot. It didn't take long. The teleportation array is drawn. Pika, everyone gathers. Lu Shu summoned all Pikachu to the range of the teleportation array, preparing to try the teleportation ability. When everyone is focused, following Lu Shu's thoughts, a beam of teleportation light suddenly enveloped 100 Pikachus. Transmitting in progress. 10.9.8. After 10 seconds of reading. Buzz, accompanied by strange noises, the teleportation light curtain pours down like the Milky Way waterfall in the 9 heavens. The next second, all the Pikachus returned to the island. When the Pikachus came back, they all tilted their heads, their little heads filled with big question marks. Weren't you in another place just now? Why are you back? Lu Shu pointed at the advanced spiritual energy fruit tree and said with a smile, "Thank you for your hard work, go pick the fruits and eat them." All Pikachu's eyes suddenly straightened, and they decisively gave up thinking and stopped thinking about those complicated problems. They moved their bodies with honest expressions and ran to pick fruits to eat. Ba, ba, the sound of pleasant chewing echoed next to the sacred tree. Belch, the Pikachus burped one after another. It didn't take long. All the cuties have eaten a high-grade spiritual energy fruit. At this time, the pet panel popped up in front of Lu Shu. Pikachu, type, Pokemon, power, 100,000 volts, shock fruit. Physique, C+, speed, A, spirit, A, overall potential, S+. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. These hundreds of Pikachus have not only had their attributes enhanced in all aspects, but their potential has also reached S+. I have to say that Pikachu's innate mental power is really powerful. It has reached level A. In addition to powerful abilities, mental strength is also very important. Only with enough mental power can you fully unleash the power of your supernatural powers. I thought I could catch up with my mental power, but I didn't expect that Pikachu would catch up again. Lu Shu couldn't help but smile bitterly. Pikachu's mental power has reached level A. My mental strength is only B level until now. I have to say that it is too difficult to improve the spiritual power of the Divine Tree Master. However, if other Sacred Tree Masters were to know Lu Shu's current mental power level, they would probably vomit blood. Most of the Sacred Tree Masters almost collapsed on the ground when they finished carving a teleportation array, as if they were going to die if they didn't drink a few more bottles of kidney treasure. And Lu Shu drew 2 teleportation arrays in succession, as if there was no consumption at all. If others knew about this, they would directly doubt their life. All Pikachus have evolved, their mental powers have been restored to full state, and their strength has been enhanced. Continue exploring towards the gray mist. Lu Shu tasted the benefits of exploring the dungeon and quickly directed all the Pikachu to gather in the teleportation array. With such a powerful army, can the gray world be called a dangerous place? It is simply a treasure for Lu Shu to explore. It's too late to be early without any benefit. As the light curtain changes, Pikachu's army has returned to the gray realm again. Next, Lu Shu quickly made a decision. Head straight to Ghost Town. Kill stronger monsters. After Pikachu swallowed the advanced aura fruit, all his potentials were increased to S+, making him much more powerful. Regardless of the fact that the mental power has been upgraded from B to a level, however, now that Pikachu uses the power of Shock Fruit, not only does the power increase a lot, but the consumption is relatively not that high. Now, there is no need to save Shock Fruit for boss battles. When dealing with elite monsters, you can occasionally use the power of Shock Fruit. In this way, the 2 abilities can be used freely, which is of great significance for improving combat. In addition to Shock Fruit's abilities, Ghosts are gray monsters who are afraid of thunder and lightning. Pikachu is their nemesis. Therefore, only Lu Shu dared to explore the ghost town so boldly. Although the dungeon there is much more dangerous than Death Manor. But as the saying goes, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And after Pikachu's large army has been strengthened, these are his trump cards for dealing with risks. All ready to go. Next, Lu Shu led 100s plus Pikachu to the ghost town. Another sacred tree island. 2 fruits appeared in Mu Yutingfang's hand. There is a low-level spiritual energy fruit in the left hand and a high-level spiritual energy fruit in the right hand. This fruit, Mu Yutingfang's eyes moved slightly. Obviously, high-level Reiki fruits look more advanced than low-level Reiki fruits. Could it be that after he received the reward from the boss, his divine tree ability also improved? Mu Yutingfang secretly guessed. That guy's sacred tree must have just been cultivated from a sapling into a primary spiritual tree, right? Therefore, the grade of the fruit has also improved. Mu Yutingfang first chose to take the low-level spiritual energy fruit. She always likes to leave all the delicious food behind. 3 times 5 divided by 2. A whole spiritual energy fruit quickly entered Mu Yutingfang's mouth. Come alive. Take a long breath. After satisfying this verbal desire, a look of enjoyment appeared on Mu Yutingfang's face. Of course, 1 fruit is not enough. Next, this brand new fruit. Mu Yutingfang hesitated for a while, then put the high-level spiritual energy fruit to her mouth and took a bite. The next second, her body trembled suddenly. Chapter 21. This taste. When Mu Yutingfang put the high-grade spiritual energy fruit to her mouth, her white lips and teeth gently rubbed forward. It seems that the tip of the tooth has not yet begun to exert force. The fruit instantly melts on the tip of your tongue. The refreshing and slightly sweet aroma stimulates every taste bud. When it slides down the throat to the esophagus, Mu Yu listened to the wind as if her whole body had soared to heaven. That moment, she really felt like she was Chang'e in the sky, playing in the clouds and dancing with the doves. Just a fruit. That's it. Bring me such an ultimate experience. Mu Yutingfang's body trembled, and her blue eyes were half squinted, with a drop of mist on them. The indescribable bliss caused her inner emotions to surge, making her unable to extricate herself. This is the ultimate experience of life sublimation. It seems that I feel the fun that ordinary people cannot feel in this life. Is this a fairy fruit? Mu Yutingfang couldn't help but have this ridiculous idea come to mind. For a long time, she stayed in place, and suddenly sighed softly. Who are you? Who would have thought that a piece of fruit could bring such an experience to people? Suddenly, Mu Yutingfang felt that the primary spiritual energy fruit suddenly lost its fragrance. After tasting the more ultimate taste, how can you miss the lower level taste? At this moment, Mu Yutingfang suddenly realized something. I was tricked. This bad guy, he deliberately gave me this fruit to attract me. Mu Yutingfang gritted her teeth slightly and her cheeks puffed up. It looks angry, but it actually makes people feel cute. Who wants to continue to eat low-level spiritual energy fruits after eating more delicious high-level spiritual energy fruits? You know, it's not that Mu Yu Fang doesn't have good fruits to eat, it's just that the fruits are not as good as Lu Shu. It just so happens, she has an ultimate pursuit of delicious food in the world. Want the best. Unfortunately, there is no best in this world, only better. The high-grade spiritual energy fruit presented by Lu Shu obviously beat the best fruit Mu Yu Fang had ever tasted before. This time, if Mu Yu Fang still wants to eat high-level spiritual energy fruits, then he must offer more benefits in exchange. How can the primary spiritual energy fruit once a week satisfy Mu Yu Fang's enjoyment needs now? Hateful. Why is his fruit so delicious? Jealous. Jealous. Mu Yu Fang gritted his teeth. After a moment of relaxation, he calmed down slightly. Thinking that my 3 talents combined, there are quite a lot of letters, I suddenly felt balanced in my heart. In any case, no matter what talents the Shu man awakens, no matter how you put it, he can't have as many as he does. Eat the entire high-grade spiritual energy fruit. Mu Yu Fang was surprised to find that his physical fitness had greatly increased. It's a pity. If you can only increase your physical fitness, it will be too limited to deal with monsters in the gray world. Mu Yu Fang sighed, but she suddenly remembered the achievement of the Shuren, who won the first kill of the boss. My precognition ability should not be mistaken. The one who killed the boss was a yellow-skinned rat. I guess he just got a big advantage, right? Mu Yu Fang shook her head. At a certain moment, she actually doubted whether the Shuren had really killed the boss himself. But the prediction ability has already told the result. The murderer is a yellow-skinned rat. And the high-level spiritual energy fruit exchanged should be the upgraded fruit of the Shuren. It has nothing to do with yellow-skinned rats. With this kind of effect, no matter how fast the production speed is, it is only an A-level talent at best. In the dangerous Grey World dungeon, A-level talents are at best cannon fodder with stronger resistance. Combine various information. Mu Yu Fang became more and more certain that the Shuren's first boss kill achievement was indeed achieved through luck. However, how can good luck always happen to a person? Next time, he won't be so lucky, right? Mu Yu listened to the wind and sighed slightly. The Grey World is really big. Lu Shu sighed in her heart. Death Manor and Ghost Town are at opposite ends of the City of the Living Dead. Lu Shu starts from the teleportation array and goes to the Ghost Town. On the way, he needs to return to the City of the Living Dead and travel to the other side. Anyway, Death Manor has been cleared. Next, Lu Shu asked Pikachu to go all out. The A-level movement speed is completely unleashed. It only took half a day. Pikachu's large army has arrived at the Ghost Town. The whole town was cold, dead, gray, and lifeless. The roads are overgrown. The decades-old house has become rotten and moldy. The weird scene, combined with the endless gray fog, makes people feel scalp numb. Ordinary sacred tree masters might be scared away when they see this scene. However, Lu Shu led an army of 100 Pikachus and walked inside fearlessly and swaggeringly. As arrogant as a village bully. After walking for some distance, a voice suddenly came to Lu Shu's ear. Tip. 20 meters ahead, the ghost of a resentful woman appears. Ghost of the resentful girl. Category. Wrongful soul. Risk factor. C. Sensing range. 15 meters. Strength. 30. Speed. 50. Defense. 10. Physical immunity. Skills. Ghost wandering, soul draining. Description. In that catastrophe, many girls in the witch town died, but their ghosts still remain in the town and can never be dissipated. Ahead, a translucent ghost floated in the air. Lu Shu originally wanted to command Pikachu to use the electric power to solve the problem immediately before the opponent could sense it. Unexpectedly, the ghost girl was very fast and arrived 15 meters away from Lu Shu and discovered his presence. A taste of the living. A creepy sound came from the ghost's mouth. The translucent ghost of the resentful girl floated in the air and rushed towards Lu Shu, opening her sharp teeth. In the form of a spirit body, this ghost is not only extremely fast, but also immune to most physical attacks. For most sacred tree masters, if they don't have the skills to restrain ghosts, coming here is basically a dead end. Electric shock. When the resentful female ghost pounces, Lu Shu used the electric power without hesitation to give the opponent an electrotherapy. You activate the electric power on the ghost of resentment, causing critical damage. In the lightning, the ghost's figure was instantly annihilated. With the attributes restrained, Lu Shu's mental power has reached B level, and it is very easy to kill monsters of this level. You killed a resentful female ghost and got primary soul +1. Elementary soul. Type: special consumables. Function: some props may need to be consumed to activate. Did any materials fall? Lu Shu looked strange. Can ghosts still drop materials? Opening the warehouse, there was an additional human head showing a twisted and painful look. Well, this is the dropped primary soul. Even if it is turned into material, it doesn't look very beautiful. Too ugly. Lu Shu couldn't help frowning. I don't want to put such a disgusting thing in my own warehouse. And it comes with fruits and pork. But I thought it would be useful later, so I kept it. After killing monsters, the materials dropped are also processed by the system. There shouldn't be any big problem. Boom. At this time, in the gray mist, a black light group appeared and swept towards one of the Pikachus. Warn, you are experiencing an unknown attack. Careful, Lu Shu said loudly immediately. Pikachu reacted instantly and returned the electric shock. The lightning shattered the gray fog and offset the sudden blow. At the same time, Pikachu's figure deftly took a step back, looking warily at the direction from which the black mist was attacking. Where did this attack come from? Lu Shu frowned. The attack originates from outside the gray fog. The enemy is not within the field of view, but a long-range attack launched from outside the field of view. We must have encountered a stronger monster. Then, another identical attack flew over from the depths of the gray mist. After also neutralizing the attack with electric shock, Lu Shu's heart moved and she rushed towards the direction of the attack. As long as we follow the direction of the attack, can't we find out the enemy's location? Soon, a witch wearing wizard robes but with empty eyes appeared in Lu Shu's field of vision, holding a staff in her hand. The top of the staff bloomed with bursts of black light, as if it could absorb souls. The nearby resentful female ghost was actually sucked into the staff, and then turned into a black mist and attacked Lu Shu. At this time, Lu Shu also got information about the monster. The Cursed Witch. Type: Undead, Magician. Risk Factor: B. Sensing Range: 25 meters. Strength: 20. Speed: 15. Defense: 50. Skills: Undead Magic, Dark Sense. Description: they were originally outstanding witches in the town. Unfortunately, during the catastrophe, the kind-hearted witches turned into monsters. Sure enough, her perception range is very large. Lu Shu frowned slightly. Perhaps because the opponent is still a magician, the cursed witch's perception range is wider than that of ordinary monsters, and she also has the ability to attack from a long distance. Therefore, before Lu Shu discovers the enemy's location, he will be attacked by the witch first. The witch raised her staff. Seeing that the attack failed, she wanted to launch a second attack. However, after being found, how could Lu Shu give the opponent this opportunity? His figure turned into a flash of light, and he immediately came to the witch's side. 100,000 volts. The violent current bombarded the witch's body. In a blink, the witch becomes a charcoal-grilled witch. The dead souls condensed on her body emitted bursts of piercing screams and dispersed into black mist. You killed the elite monster of Ghost Town for the first time, the Cursed Witch. Get the wizard robe. Get primary soul X3. Get a special letter X1. In front of Lu Shu's eyes, the magic weapon interface suddenly appeared. Wizard robe. Type: jacket armor. Grade: silver level. Attributes: defense 10, magic resistance 20, durability 5. Description: it is very useful in resisting the magic of magicians. Killing an elite monster for the first time is considered a dungeon reward, not an achievement reward. It just increases the critical hit rate of drops. The prizes inside all fell from the Cursed Witch. Every time you get to a new dungeon and kill elite monsters, you can basically get a high explosion rate. In addition, that special letter also attracted Lu Shu's attention. Take it apart and take a look. The contents on the envelope appeared in front of my eyes. Something seems to have happened at the Wizarding Academy. Leave the academy and don't come back. The letter was in tatters and the handwriting on it was very sloppy. It was like a piece of paper pulled out in a hurry and a sentence written quickly to convey something important to the witch. Combined with the description of the system, Lu Shu secretly guessed that this town was originally a normal town with ordinary residents and witches, but everyone lived in harmony. Until one day, a disaster and catastrophe befell the town. The people here turned into monsters, and the witches turned into cursed magicians. Combined with the nearby city of the living dead and the Death Manor, the cursed master of the manor. Lu Shu guessed that there might be some reason that makes this area so weird. And could the appearance of gray fog be related to these things? Maybe you can find the corresponding answer by entering the Magic Academy mentioned in this letter. Lu Shu secretly guessed in her heart. Only by moving forward can you know the truth. Pikachu's large army continued to maintain its exploration formation. At this time, in the northeast, through the vision of a Pikachu, Lu Shu discovered a water source there. Gulu. The sound of gurgling water sounded nearby. Have water. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. Water is also a rare resource in the Sacred Tree Island. The place where the sound of water came from caught Lu Shu's attention. If an ordinary Sacred Tree Master went on an adventure, it would not be so easy to find this water source. After all, the field of vision of the gray fog is quite limited, and it can only see a small area. In other places, it is a matter of feeling the stones to cross the river. Lu Shu had a large army of Pikachu with a field of vision of 2,000 meters. With luck, he found the water source of the ghost town. Step forward. A small stream appeared in front of me. Next to the stream, an ancient wooden shrine was built. There was actually a little bit of fire inside. Fire source. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. In the gray world, light sources are even rarer than water sources. Slowly approaching the wooden house, Lu Shu suddenly spotted a figure wearing tattered sacrificial clothes and holding an oil lamp in his hand. The figure was sitting on a wooden wicker chair under the eaves, seemingly taking a nap. When Pikachu approached, the figure suddenly trembled and opened its eyes. Her eyes are as empty as those of a cursed witch. The figure's body suddenly condensed with the black aura of the wronged soul. A prompt popped up in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Goddess. Type: Undead, Priest. Risk factor: B+. Sensing range: 20 meters. Strength: 25. Speed: 10. Defense: 30. Skills: Dark Sacrifice, Curse of the Voodoo Doll. Description: the goddess was the priest who guarded the town's holy water. As usual, she took a sip of the holy water and went crazy. The goddess had already stood up from the chair, looking at Pikachu with her empty eyes. She held a candle in her hand that flickered on and off. Suddenly, a black energy came out of her empty pupils. There seems to be a thin gray thread connected to Pikachu's body. Warn: you are cursed. Please kill the enemy within 10 minutes. Otherwise you will die from an inexplicable curse. Kill her. Lu Shu activated the mind resonance and immediately transmitted the battle message to Pikachu. Pikachu rushed forward angrily. This monster attacked him inexplicably, so there was no need to be polite. 100,000 volts. The violent electric current bombarded the priest. However, a cursed black gas suddenly appeared on the priest's body. When the lightning fell on the black gas shield, it did not penetrate the armor directly as expected, but was offset. You are cursed and cannot attack the witch. Closing square bracket. Is there such a skill? Lu Shu frowned. The witch's curse seems to be different from the resentful ghost and the cursed witch. It is not a type of undead, but a curse. The effect of the lightning ability is not so obvious. However, this curse is only aimed at one of the Pikachus, and can only be used on one target at a time. But behind this Pikachu, there are 99 brothers. The Pikachu behind that was not cursed, when he rushed over, released 100,000 volts at the same time, giving the witch the most desperate electric shock. Obviously, the cursed Pikachu could not cause effective damage to the witch. The Pikachu behind that was not cursed, launched 100,000 volts, and the effect still exploded instantly. Zzz. In the violent thunder, the witch's figure disappeared in the lightning. I curse you to never be reborn. The witch uttered a vicious curse before she died. She seemed to want to curse again, but the waterfall of lightning immediately cleansed all the darkness, and the body that should have decayed long ago was instantly annihilated. Several messages came in front of Lu Shu. You killed the high-level elite monster the witch. Closing square bracket. Get the searchlight X1. Closing square bracket. Get the witch's amulet X1. Closing square bracket. Get the high-level soul X1. Witch's amulet. Type: jewelry. Rank: silver. Attributes: magic resistance 20, spirit 10, blessing +1. Set: ghost 8-piece set 2/8. Effect: ghost perception +1. Description: this amulet has a blessing effect, which can have a chance to be immune to curses and delay the time when curses take effect. Ghost set. Lu Shu's eyes lit up immediately. The witch has a lot of good things. What surprised Lu Shu was that the ghost set has the skill of ghost perception. In short, based on the original vision, Lu Shu can sense the breath of ghosts outside the gray fog. It is equivalent to the insight of the sixth sense. When Lu Shu encounters the cursed witch again, even if he does not have the opponent's vision, he can find the enemy's position through this sixth sense of ghost perception. Perhaps, when adventuring in the gray world, the sixth sense is a very special but important ability. Fire search. Lu Shu's eyes moved to the small flame in the warehouse. Do you want to use the searchlight? Closing square bracket. Yes. Closing square bracket. View +1. Closing square bracket. The next second, the searchlight in Lu Shu's hand became brighter. It turns out that search fire can increase the light source. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. Although the search range only increased by 1 meter, the search fire was not obtained from the boss after all. If you can find more goddesses, you will have a chance to get more fire. After killing Granny Shinigami, Lu Shu came to the stream and looked down. Pity. This water source has been completely polluted. All in pitch black color. It's like being cursed. Lu Shu shook her head in disappointment. She thought she had found a valuable resource, but she was lucky if she didn't die after drinking this water. Just as he was about to leave, a prompt appeared in front of him. In the wooden house there is a prophecy left by the goddess before she was cursed. Prophecy. Lu Shu had a puzzled look on her face. He walked into the wooden house. I saw a text carved crookedly on a table. Mary, that smart, talented girl will bring disaster to this place because of her curiosity. However, killing her will not help, disaster will come sooner or later. Unfortunately, when people knew all this, the holy water had been contaminated, and no one could stop the curse of Mei Li in red. When people thought of finding the Holy Grail, everyone near the Holy Grail turned into monsters. Going to find the Holy Grail. The prophecy ends here. Not only are there no words at the back, the twisted lines look like children's graffiti, and even a little of the words in front have been crossed out. The chaotic fonts reveal madness. Perhaps the goddess turned into a monster when she finished writing the last paragraph. It was at that time that disaster struck the ghost town. Lu Shu frowned slightly, thinking about the clues. Mei Li is the boss of the ghost town, and the witch's prophecy seems to imply that Mei Li will become a disaster in the town. As for the holy water, it has indeed been contaminated. The key to the solution lies in the Holy Grail. But where is the Holy Grail? The prophecy stated that the Holy Grail was the key tool to deal with Mei Li, but the people nearby turned into monsters, indicating that the Holy Grail was supposed to be protected. It's just that the Guardian turned into a monster. So, all the people who went to search for the Holy Grail were killed by monsters wandering nearby. I wandered around this shrine for a while. There's nothing else to gain here. Lu Shu leads the Pikachu army to explore other places. On the way, he encountered several attacks from the ghost of a resentful woman. But this kind of monster doesn't have much value in killing it, and Lu Shu's perception range is farther than theirs, so he can force a fight in most cases. At this time, Lu Shu raised the torch. A magnificent castle appears ahead. Under the gloomy gate, the road opens wide. Compared with other places, this seems to be the place with the most complete preservation of buildings. After walking in the ghost town for so long, Lu Shu has never seen a more magnificent building than this castle. Suddenly, a prompt appeared in front of Lu Shu's eyes. Warning: ahead is the Witch Academy in the ghost town, and Red Mei Li is inside. The danger factor is extremely high. Lu Shu's expression changed. Unconsciously, we have arrived at the boss location of the ghost town. This seemingly peaceful castle has already been lurking with countless monsters. Compared to the Lord of the Manor, Mei Li in red is much more dangerous. Want to go in? Just when Lu Shu was thinking, a prompt sound suddenly came from his ear. Ding! Your ninja fruit tree has reached maturity, ninja fruit plus 100. Now let's draw a teleportation array here. Lu Shu did not choose to attack the boss of the ghost town immediately. I found a fairly safe place. Describe the magic circle. This is even a teleportation point. Pika, everyone gathers. Lu Shu called all the Pikachus into the teleportation array. As the light curtain changes, immediately afterwards, all the Pikachu return to the island. Lu Shu switches back to her own body. Stand up. Not far away, the ninja fruit tree was covered with 100 dark night fruits. Ninja fruit. Type: super power fruit. Function: gain a ninjutsu-like power. I wonder what kind of ninjutsu powers you can get after eating it. Lu Shu's heart moved slightly. It's like opening a blind box. Unless you swallow it, you will never know what kind of superpowers you get. Little guys, go eat the fruit. 1 pill per person, no one can take more. Lu Shu pointed at the ninja fruit tree and smiled at these cute little creatures. Anyway, there are 2 production times left, and 1 tree can produce 200 fruits. First, let 100 Pikachus eat them all. After the second ripening, Lu Shu's body can eat again. When the Pikachus heard that there was fruit to eat, they ran over happily. Bah, bah, not long after, all the fruit on the tree has been eaten. In the blink of an eye, the ninja fruit tree was bald. Belch, hiccups sounded one after another. After all the Pikachus had eaten the ninja fruit, the pet panel popped up in front of Lu Shu. Pikachu. Type: Pokemon. Powers: 100,000 volts, shock fruit, clone technique. Physique: C+. Speed: A. Spirit: A. Overall potential: S+. Clone technique. Lu Shu looked shocked. Clone technique. Type: Ninja power. Function: consume a certain amount of mental power to create a clone with 20% of the original body's strength. You can summon at most 1 clone at the same time. It's not bad. Lu Shu nodded slightly. Although it is only 20% of the original body, in the gray world, the clone can replace the original body in surveying and fighting, and can even lead the charge, inquire about surrounding intelligence, or provide vision. It is already very useful. And, with all the Pikachus equipped with clone technique, Lu Shu has a new plan to attack the Wizard Academy in the Ghost Town and deal with the boss Red Melee who may appear inside. Retransport back to the gray world. 100 mighty troops rushed towards the Wizard Academy's castle. It's like they don't know there is danger inside. Just step through the gate. Suddenly, there are several gray fogs nearby, attacking Lu Shu. Electric shock. The Pikachus have already entered a state of preparation for battle. Reaching A-level mental power is not only as simple as releasing skills, but also improves reaction speed. Boom! The thunder and black mist collided together, making a harsh sound. However, before Pikachu's large army could find all the enemies, the black mist that comes from the attack is getting more and more, and it is attacking the large army continuously. The undead magic is densely packed all over the sky, and all of it deals damage in a range, making it difficult to withstand. One of the Pikachus didn't have time to use electric shock and hurriedly dodged to the side. When the black mist fell on the ground, it suddenly turned into a terrifying black mist that spread out. When it affected Pikachu, it immediately corroded it. However, something unexpected happened. Pikachu turned into a puff of smoke and disappeared. And the black mist penetrated the smoke and fell to the ground, leaving a deep black pit that looked weird and terrifying. More and more Pikachus on the field are being hit by the black mist. However, they have one characteristic in common. That is, when it is hit, it turns into smoke. But not for long. All Pikachu turned into smoke. And the Wizarding Academy returned to silence. Outside the Wizarding Academy, 100 Pikachus were waiting outside. That's right, the Pikachu who entered the Wizard Academy before were actually created clones. And these Pikachus can not only provide vision, but also find the locations of all enemies. The location, and number of enemies have all been determined. There are a total of 80 cursed magicians and 20 goddesses with curse abilities. We must fight quickly. After Lu Shu got the information, he quickly deployed a strategic plan. Among them, the goddess is the most troublesome enemy. That curse is even immune to attacks. You can successfully kill at least 2 Pikachu. Everyone split up and act separately. Lu Shu directed calmly. Undead magic deals area of effect damage. If Pikachus get together, they will be easily attacked. After determining the location of the enemy, you only need to defeat them one by one. Under the leadership of Lu Shu, all the Pikachus entered the Wizarding Academy again. This time, the momentum of the large army was completely different. The clone only has 20% of its strength. However, this large army of Pikachu has 100% full strength. One after another, yellow flashing figures flew past the cursed witch and headed straight for the goddess. The attack speed of those undead magics is very slow and cannot fall on Pikachu, who has A-level movement speed. 2 Pikachu form a team, cooperate and attack a goddess together. The goddess's curse can only be used on 1 Pikachu at a time. Before the curse takes effect, sizzle, sizzle. The violent sound of electricity sounded. You killed the goddess, the advanced soul +1, searchlight +1. You killed the goddess, the advanced soul +1, searchlight +1. With its extremely fast movement speed, Pikachu can quickly reach the goddess and kill her before the curse takes effect. Even if the curse succeeds, the other Pikachu that is not cursed will instantly kill the opponent. Soon, 20 goddesses all fell under Pikachu's 100,000 volts. Every time you kill a goddess, you can drop a fixed amount of searchlight. And Lu Shu instantly harvested 20 search fire seeds. Would you like to use searchlight X20? Yes. Vision +20. The next second, the gray fog in front of Lu Shu's eyes was quickly receding. The bright firelight dispelled the fog and illuminated the surroundings. 40 meters sensing range. When the senses are expanded, the oppressive feeling caused by the gray fog seems to be instantly reduced a lot. At this time, Lu Shu has gained the vision of all the cursed witches. They need a certain amount of singing time to cast magic. They hide in the gray fog and rely on their unexpected long-distance consumption to pose a considerable threat. But if you can see the opponent's movements, Pikachu can easily dodge. Once the mage is approached, there is no need to say what will happen. Split up. Destroy them one by one. Under the command of Lu Shu, every Pikachu starts to fight separately. Their dexterous figures dodge undead magic attacks with ease. Just follow the direction of the magic attack and you will soon find the location of the cursed witch. The next thing to do is to give these ugly enemies a taste of electrotherapy. Sizzle, sizzle. Soon, there was a burst of electricity on the field. With its super fast movement speed, Pikachu found the enemy's location and turned on the power without saying a word. After being approached by Pikachu, the witch was completely unable to resist and was electrocuted to death by 100,000 volts. You killed the cursed witch, the intermediate soul +1. You killed the cursed witch, the intermediate soul +1. At this time, the reward for killing the elite monster becomes an intermediate soul. The rewards are different. Only in rare cases will the magic weapon be revealed. But the letters never dropped again. Lu Shu no longer had time to care about these details. He commands all Pikachu to quickly kill enemies around him. Unknowingly, dozens more souls appeared in Lu Shu's warehouse. And the cursed witch had almost been killed. At this time, a blood-red claw suddenly descended from the sky and covered it downwards. This attack was too sudden, falling from the sky, and it was extremely fast. However, even if it fell from the sky, the perception range increased to 40 meters. Pikachu had enough reaction time to immediately dodge sideways to avoid the attack of the dark red claws. Boom! When it fell to the ground, the earth suddenly left a deep ravine. The ground with cracked claws spread about 10 meters into the distance. Did the boss appear? Lu Shu's eyes were calm and he was not surprised by this. He led a large army of Pikachu and made so much noise in other people's territory. It would be weird if he didn't come out. At this time, in the sky, a woman covered in the aura of an innocent soul, with a strange black light emitting from her pupils, and dressed in red, appeared in Lu Shu's field of vision. At the same time, a panel appeared in front of his eyes. Melee in red. Category: Cursed Wizard. Risk factor: A. Sensing range: 50 meters. Power: 202. Speed: 180. Defense: 200. Skills: Blood Black Magic, Mass Curse, Wrong Soul Fury. Description: in the past, the most talented witch in the Wizarding Academy made a contract with the devil, or in other words, she was chosen by the devil. 100,000 volts. When Mei Li in red just appeared, Lu Shu summoned all the Pikachus and launched the most violent thunder and lightning attack on each other. However, a blood-red shield suddenly appeared all over the body of Mei Li in red. Black magic of blood. When the disaster struck, Mei Li in red killed almost everyone in the town. This endless blood has become the source of power for Mei Li in red to perform black magic. Lu Shu's eyes moved and he immediately charged up the 100,000 volts current. 100 Pikachus unleashed their powers on Red Mary at the same time. Even with the blood shield, it is difficult to resist. The violent current penetrated the blood shield. But the next second, Mei Li in red used blood escape. Her figure suddenly disappeared into the gray mist. Thunder and lightning swept in from all directions, and the second after Mei Li in red left, they bombarded the place where she disappeared, creating a terrifying explosion. Suddenly, a burst of chanting floated from the gray mist. Mary in red has activated a curse. You are cursed by Red Mei Li. Your attacks cannot cause damage to Red Mei Li. Please deal with the enemy within 10 minutes, otherwise you will be cursed and die. Tip: find the Holy Grail in the Wizarding Academy and use the blessed holy water inside to purify the curse on Red Mei Li. Just like when dealing with the goddess. However, the curse of Red Mei Li can curse multiple targets at the same time. Not only is the attack ineffective, but the opponent must be defeated within a limited time, otherwise he will be cursed to death. It can be said to be quite a troublesome enemy. Not only. Mei Li in red suddenly sang a long song. As her voice became more and more sad, all the ghosts of resentful girls nearby came to the sky above the Wizard Academy. Mei Li in red launched the violent rage of the wrong soul. The sky is full of ghosts of resentful girls, covering this place. These densely packed enemies are floating in the air, and they are so numerous that they are almost uncountable. Anyone who faces the ghost of the resentful woman in the entire town at the same time will feel extremely desperate. Mei Li in red floated in the sky, looking down at the enemies on the ground indifferently. It's like looking down at a swarm of bugs. Ding, you triggered the blessing aura. Immune to the curse. At this time, a reminder sounded in Lu Shu's ears. He was surprised to find that among the 100 Pikachus present, he was the only one who was not cursed. This is the effect of the goddess's amulet. Unfortunately, the equipment can only be used by yourself, and other Pikachu cannot receive blessings. It is difficult for Lu Shu to kill Red Mei Li by herself. At this time, several resentful female ghosts came to kill him. Use electric shock. The curse can only not harm Red Mei Li herself, but it will still cause damage to other enemies. All members, enter the castle. Lu Shu did not panic and directed calmly. He guessed that the holy water was in the castle. 100 Pikachus burst into the wizard's castle. Lu Shu raised her head and found that there was a little light coming from the main hall of the castle. He felt the power of blessing within. However, the main hall is blocked by a magnificent bronze door and cannot be entered. Use Shock Fruit's power, Lu Shu said immediately. At this time, Shock Fruit's ability comes into play. 100 Pikachus use Shock Fruit at the same time. Boom! The door was opened instantly. In the main hall, a holy grail containing blessed holy water appeared in front of Lu Shu. Lu Shu immediately stepped forward and picked up the holy grail. A panel immediately popped up in front of him. Holy Grail. Function: can convert any water source into blessed holy water. Blessing holy water. Function: the water source commanded by the gods can nourish all things and purify evil things. The moment Lu Shu obtained the Holy Grail, he immediately came to the castle of the Wizarding Academy. Red Mei Li's use of curses and rage of wrong souls is not without any cost. She lost the ability to move and could only float motionless in midair. Utilizing Shock Fruit's recoil, Lu Shu's figure suddenly rose into the sky. While the body is still in midair, he sprinkled the blessed holy water stored in the Holy Grail towards Red Mei Li. The moment the holy water sprinkled on Mei Li in red, the boss suddenly let out a painful scream, like a demonic sound piercing the ears, extremely sad. You successfully used holy water to purify the curse on Mei Li in red. The curse is completely cleansed. Nearby, all the ghosts of resentful girls in the sky turned into black mist and dispersed. They were originally the undead who were cursed and could not be reincarnated, but after the curse of Red Melee was purified, these souls were liberated. It's not over yet. At this point, all Pikachu curses are lifted. Melee in Red is no longer immune to attacks. The next second, 100 Pikachu came to Lu Shu's side, and together they unleashed their electric powers on the red-clad Melee suspended in the air. 100,000 volts. The violent electric current instantly enveloped the body of Melee in Red. This moment, Melee in Red no longer has any means to resist Pikachu's attack. Under the violent bombardment of the thunder power, a brilliant spark seemed to bloom in midair. At the moment of disappearing, the blood-red coat on the red Melee slowly faded away, and her strange eyes regained a trace of clarity at this time. I seem. Did you have a long dream? Melee in Red just woke up from her sleep and whispered softly. However, before she could fully open her eyes, the endless lightning has completely destroyed the body of Melee in Red. Congratulations on killing the boss of Ghost Town, Red Melee. You have completed the achievement of passing the difficult level dungeon for the first time, and you can unlock the corresponding achievement reward. You have obtained Elementary Soul X 100, Intermediate Soul X 50, and Advanced Soul X 10. You have obtained the item from the Grey World, the Pointer of Destiny. You have obtained the item from the Grey Realm, the Marauder's Map. You have obtained a special prop, Melee in Red's Diary. You have completed the achievement of killing the difficult boss for the first time, and you will be rewarded with an advanced skill illustration, Disguise. Grey World Props. Lu Shu's eyes moved slightly. View the properties and functions of props. Fate Pointer. Function. After consuming a certain amount of souls, this pointer can point you in the direction you want to go. Primary Soul X1, the pointer moves once. Intermediate Soul X1, the pointer moves 5 times. Advanced Soul X1, the pointer moves 15 times. Marauder's Map. Function. Show the existence of activities in a certain area. This map will display their names. Elementary Soul X1, lasts for 1 minute. Intermediate Soul X1, lasts 5 minutes. Advanced Soul X1, lasts for 15 minutes. The combination of these two props makes it easier to explore the Grey World. Lu Shu nodded. By consuming souls, you can guide the way and check the location of monsters in a certain area. The safety factor is definitely much better than exploring with your face. The only troublesome thing is that it consumes too much soul. But after clearing the ghost town, Lu Shu had a lot of souls stored, which was enough to last for a while. Would you like to learn advanced skills, Disguise? Yes. The next second, a skill panel appeared in front of Lu Shu. Skill. Disguise. Level. Advanced. Function. Consume a certain amount of soul to disguise yourself as the character you want to disguise. Not only will the appearance change, but the soul aura will also change accordingly. Elementary Soul X1, disguise for 1 hour. Intermediate Soul X1, disguise for 10 hours. Advanced Soul X1, disguise for a day. The skill of camouflage is suitable for sneaking. Lu Shu frowned slightly. This skill is very useful for ordinary sacred tree masters. If you enter the camouflage state, you can mingle with the enemy, which is very convenient for exploring the dungeon information, and you can also avoid being attacked by monsters. But, Lu Shu entered the dungeon with an entire Pikachu army. Only you can learn disguise, other Pikachu cannot use it. Ding! Your ninja fruit has reached maturity, get ninja fruit plus 100. This reminder made Lu Shu's eyes light up. By the way, don't I still have 100 ninja fruits? I can send the clone of the main body in, and then let the clone use disguise to go in and check the information. You can wait until the clone has figured out the situation in the dungeon before going in to guide it. After this dungeon, Lu Shu realized that the dungeon in the Grey World was not that simple. Superpowers may not be able to kill boss instantly. It's just that the difficult level red-clad Melee has the curse skill of being immune to attacks. You need to find holy water in the dungeon to purify the curse of red Melee. Otherwise, no matter how many troops go up, they won't be able to produce even a single output, and they will have to wait to die. As for the more advanced dungeons in the future, you may need to figure out the strategy route. If you go in recklessly, you will lose your life. One last item. Lu Shu set her sights on the diary of Melee in red. June 10th. I had a strange dream. I dreamed of a paradise, but I kept hesitating. It was a bit strange there. Should I go there? June 20th. It has been 10 days and I have been dreaming about that castle repeatedly. Once again, I couldn't help but go there and found that there was a lot of food to eat. It was not as stingy as the daily meals at the Wizarding Academy, which were just cold bread repeated every day. July 1st. My teacher always says that my eyes are a little weird during class. I feel like she is looking for trouble with me. Recently, my classmates have also been whispering to me. They are jealous of my talent and are ostracizing me. It's still the same class. Paradise is interesting. July 10th. I can't eat any food recently. I'm very eager to eat, but I'm not hungry. What's going on? July 11th. When I woke up, why did it seem like there was no one in this town? The diary ends on the last page. After reading the diary, Lu Shu took a deep breath. The dream of Red Meili and the paradise in the dream are the source of this town's curse. Meili in red is the most outstanding witch in the college, but she is also jealous and ostracized by her classmates. She accepted the devil's temptation, but her conscience made it difficult for her to live with it, so she made it all into a dream to escape reality. The candy that Red Meili ate was actually human blood. Unknowingly, she completely turned into a monster, so she no longer had any appetite for any food, she just longed for blood. In the end, when Meili in red completely turned into a monster, all the magic in her body turned into black magic, and everyone in the town was cursed to become monsters. Since the paradise in the dream is the place where Red Meili turned into a monster. Where is that place? A trace of doubt flashed in Lu Shu's heart. With a sudden movement, he took out the destiny pointer. Remember where you want to go silently in your mind, and the pointer of destiny will tell you the direction you want to go. I want to find the place where Red Meili went in her dream. Lu Shu said silently in his heart. Soon, a line of text appeared in front of me. Do you want to consume primary soul X1 to give a guide? Yes. The next second, the pointer of fate has moved. Northwest. Look in the direction of the pointer. Over there at Lu Shu is the exit of Ghost Town. If viewed in map coordinates, this direction moves towards the position of 42, 43. It has exceeded the marked range of the City of the Living Dead map and is an unknown area. Go to the river first. After Meili in red was killed, the curse on the town was lifted. The ghost here no longer exists. Lu Shu's eyes were placed on the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail can purify all water. Through the power of the Holy Grail, the water of the entire river can be purified into blessed holy water. By the way, maybe I can open a channel on the Sacred Tree Island to divert the water source there. Lu Shu's eyes lit up. The water source of the Sacred Tree Island is very dependent on rain, and there is only a small basin to store water. If a river can be opened, then your own Sacred Tree Island will have an inland river that can store water. Think of this. He immediately led Pikachu's large army to the river where he had originally been. When I came near the river, I looked down. The river, which was originally pitch black, has now returned to normal. Lu Shu took out the Holy Grail. Should these water sources be converted into blessed holy water? Yes, under purification. 1001.1000. The Holy Grail overflowed with a light of purifying magic and enveloped the river. All river water, through the power of the Holy Grail, becomes blessed holy water. Just wait for the reading to be completed and the purification will be completed. By then, by opening a channel within the island, Lu Shu can have its own inland river. After the water source becomes blessed holy water, it can also increase the growth rate of the sacred tree. It can be said that it serves multiple purposes. While Lu Shu was waiting, suddenly, a prompt popped up in front of him. Tip. A team of sacred tree masters appeared 40 meters away. What the hell is this place? There are actually ghosts haunting it. Then it's not all your fault. You don't have the ability to find paths, and you're leading random paths. It makes us seem to be in a dungeon now. Shut up, you guys, you are a bunch of scammers. If I didn't have the power of holy light to restrain ghosts, you would have died long ago. Forget it, please be nice. We all come to the gray world to find resources. No one wants to get lost. That's right, the combined field of vision of the few of us is only 40 meters. It's normal to get lost. Let's all be considerate of each other. Hey, have you noticed that all the ghosts here seem to have disappeared? Yes, We encountered a few ghosts when we came in, why can't we see any now? A small team of several people started discussing in a lively manner. It is not difficult to judge from the dialogue that this is a team of divine tree masters who formed an alliance and wanted to explore the Grey World, but ended up getting lost. Under normal circumstances, it is unknown whether they can leave the ghost town alive. However, after Lu Shu killed Red Meili, this dungeon area was no longer dangerous and turned into a safe zone. At this moment, a red-haired woman in the team suddenly shouted, "Look, there seems to be a mouse in front of you." Mouse. Everyone was stunned and quickly looked forward. 40 meters ahead, in the lingering gray fog, I saw a mouse that looked like a mouse coming out of a cartoon, with a tail shaped like a bolt of lightning, standing quietly on the spot. Etc. Someone in the team realized something and said in horror, "It's the yellow-skinned rat who someone said last time killed the boss." What? Everyone's expressions were suddenly shocked. Suddenly, a 16-year-old boy in the team exclaimed, "Hurry up and open the chat channel. The old man who met the yellow-skinned rat last time has achieved the first kill of the difficult boss." Everyone's expressions moved slightly and they immediately opened the world public screen. At this time, a reminder appeared in front of everyone. Congratulations to the Sacred Tree Master, Shuren, for completing the achievement of killing the difficult boss of the ghost town for the first time. The same tree puller. The same yellow-skinned rat. The moment this system announcement appeared, the system's chat box exploded instantly. That old man actually got the first kill of a difficult level boss. What on earth is going on? Didn't someone speculate last time that the boss was killed by a yellow-skinned rat? You tell me this kind of thing can happen twice. If it was coincidence and luck once, then it is very suspicious the second time. That's right, the yellow-skinned rat might just happen to be passing by. The one who killed the boss was the treeman himself. How could there be such a thing as monsters fighting monsters? It was obviously a yellow-skinned rat that happened to be passing by, but if you insist on saying that the old man took advantage of the yellow-skinned rat, I will accept it. Those sour dogs who say that Shuren killed the boss are lucky, are they a slap in the face? When this news comes, the most shocking thing is Mu Yuting Fang. Etc. This. How is this possible? I clearly saw that it was the yellow-skinned rat who killed the boss of Death Manor. At this moment, Mu Yuting Fang fell into a situation where she doubted her life. She used her prophecy power to clearly see that it was Pikachu who killed the owner of the manor. How long has it been since then? Why did that guy get the reward for the first kill of the difficult level boss again? Just now I said he wouldn't be so lucky. This is a slap in the face. At a certain moment, Mu Yuting Fang began to wonder if he had awakened a fake power. When everyone in the chat box was blown up one after another. Everyone in the Grey World was stunned when they looked at the discussion on the world public screen. Etc. Ghost Town. Isn't this where they are? Moreover, the same yellow-skinned mouse appeared again in this place. Someone in the team murmured, "Did that guy really get lucky? Why don't we follow the yellow-skinned mouse? We feel like we have something to eat." Are you sure you have meat to eat and are not turning into meat for others to eat? I don't know. You see, that old man didn't have any problems. Maybe he just followed the yellow-skinned rat all the time and went crazy to get the first kill reward. People in the team started talking about it. At this time, the yellow-skinned mouse in the field of vision slowly walked towards the team. "Don't come over here. Gone. Who said yellow-skinned rats can't eat people? I'll kill you like a banana peel. What are you doing standing still? Run." This makeshift team was nothing more than a ragtag group. When they encountered danger, they disappeared into the gray mist without even looking back. Now, who still thinks about following a yellow-skinned mouse and whether there is any meat to eat? It would be nice if you don't get eaten by others. Lu Shu was a little speechless. Who are these people? Run away when you see yourself. Is Pikachu that scary? At this moment, 2 notification sounds came from Lu Shu's ears. Warn. The gray mist is about to invade your Sacred Tree Island. Please, those Sacred Tree Masters who are still exploring the Grey World, please return to the island immediately, otherwise when the Grey World invades, all existences still in the Grey World will die instantly. Countdown. 3 days. This system announcement did not just ring in Lu Shu's ears. Almost at the same time, The billions of players on the Divine Tree Island all got the same prompt. The chat box that was already bustling with activity, now, the number of messages refreshed every second, is about to break through the sky. The Grey World is about to invade the island. Brother, have you received the same message? Me too. Go crazy, the countdown is only 3 days, this invasion is going to kill me. Upstairs, it's called invasion. Do you think Grey Realm wants to fall in love with you, or have you read too many tentacle comics, doghead? I have gained more knowledge. It turns out that there is such an invasion, Sehui panda worship. It seems that the Grey Realm will invade everyone's island at the same time. This is so exciting. Why is it so sudden? I have been eating green grass during this period and have not even planted a single fruit. Now you tell me that the Grey World is about to invade. What a joke. This is a lie. Normally, it should take several years to plant a fruit. The game has only started for a few days, and the Grey World has already begun to attack. Grass. If I had known earlier, I would have gone to explore the Grey Realm. Now it is difficult for me to even eat grass and survive. If I encounter the invasion of the Grey Realm again, wouldn't I be doomed? It's over. Why didn't you tell me the time of the Grey Realm's invasion earlier? It's already 3 days countdown. God is kidding me. Hurry up and find something in the Grey World, otherwise you will really die. The sudden reminder of the invasion of the Grey World is like a death knell, shattering the peaceful dreams of all those who are comfortable. At this time, many people wake up from their dreams and begin to step into the Grey World, wanting to explore. However, before the Grey World invades, they must return to the island immediately. Otherwise, they will be ruthlessly obliterated. At this time, I thought of cramming into the Grey World, but it was already too late. How long does it take to go back and forth? Not to mention the problem of being easily lost in the Grey World. Many sacred tree masters who have been eating green grass, due to lack of energy in the body, just want to do activities, but they find that the body has not much physical strength. Most of these people were killed by monsters as soon as they stepped into the Grey World. Their experience of the Grey World all relies on what other fools occasionally brag about in the forum. However, what many people don't know is that a lot of the above content is fictitious, just like a story. However, it is not helpful at all in conquering the Grey World, and it even has a misleading effect. The serious sacred tree masters are all busy conquering the Grey World. Who has so much time to tell stories to others? In addition, these sacred tree masters who have just entered the Grey World are eager for quick success and eager to find a divine object that can accelerate the growth of the sacred tree. In the end, they fail to find even a chicken feather and become a meal for zombies. The survival rate in this part is even lower than when the Divine Tree Master first entered the Grey World and explored it. Basically, few of those who enter can return to the island alive. Lu Shu also opened the World public screen. Seeing everyone's discussion, I couldn't help but frown slightly. It seems that I am not alone in facing the invasion of the Grey World. The Grey World will invade all players' sacred tree islands at the same time. This is like a test. Only by taking precautions can we be fully prepared. Lu Shu entered the Grey World. Not only did she know the characteristics of these monsters, she even got the holy water to purify the curse. Even if the Grey World invades and there are cursors like Red Melee, it won't be a problem if we have the power of the Holy Grail. Ding! Your holy water has been purified. Ding! You have obtained a life fruit. Ding! Your sacred tree has been successfully upgraded from a primary spiritual tree to an intermediate spiritual tree. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. After a period of exploration in the Grey World, the sacred tree on the island has grown at a rate of 1,000 growth points every day with the increase of high-grade fertilizer and has become an intermediate spiritual tree. Moreover, the fruit of life has already grown at this time. It's time to start hatching. 3 days. After my life fruit is hatched, it can be used to deal with this invasion of the Grey World. Time to go back and make some preparations. Lu Shu secretly thought. Since the Grey Realm only has 3 days, it will invade the island. By then, even if Pikachu is in the Grey Realm, he will be wiped out. Based on Lu Shu's conjecture, it is very likely that some unexpected changes will occur when the Grey World invades the island. By then, any existence left in the Grey World will be completely wiped out in the shock. In addition to purification, the Holy Grail also has the function of storing water. Lu Shu spent some time storing all the blessed holy water from the river into the Holy Grail. Then, the ability to activate the teleportation array. 100 Pikachu followed Lu Shu back to the island. Islands. Next to the sacred tree. Lu Shu's consciousness returned to its original body. At this time, he looked towards the sacred tree. I saw that the sacred tree had grown as high as 10 meters. The lush branches and leaves are so luxuriant that they cover the sun above the head, leaving a piece of shade in this sunny noon. A golden fruit grows from the branches and leaves. Golden and dazzling, contains a mysterious breath of life. Lu Shu jumped lightly, and his acquired cultivation level allowed him to step forward with one step, and his body suddenly jumped several feet. Like a master in a martial arts movie, he used Qinggong to pluck the fruit of life as lightly as a falling goose. Then, find a clearing. Gently bury the fruit of life in the soil. The next second, a fruit of life rises from the ground. With the increase of high-grade fertilizer, the fruit of life will bear fruit in less than a day. I hope it's in time, Lu Shu said silently in her heart. 3 days later, the gray world just invaded, and at this time, the fruit of life should be a little short of hatching. But Lu Shu can be sure that this battle will last for a long time, and with the Pikachu and Piranha army, they can definitely defend it for a while. Then just wait for the fruit of life to hatch and be done. Then, Lu Shu looked at the sacred tree panel. Sacred tree. Stage. Intermediate spiritual tree. Sunlight. 140 per day 1.3x 100. Aura. 120 per day 1.1x 100. Subspecies spirit tree remaining capacity, 7 total 10. Products. Heavenly spirit fruit, innate level kung fu fruit, innate level martial arts fruit. Production cycle. 2.5 days 1100 450ths approximately equals 2.5. Growth points. 5425 11.1x 100 equals 1100 per day. Next stage. Advanced spiritual tree 20,000 growth points. 3 fruit products. Lu Shu's eyes lit up slightly. After the sacred tree is upgraded, the fruits it produces become higher grade, and at the same time, it can produce 3 kinds of fruits related to cultivating immortals. Moreover, the grades of these fruits are all in the Shantian realm. I am still in the acquired state. Is the growth rate of the sacred tree too advanced? For the first time, Lu Shu felt ashamed that she was not as good as a tree. By the way, ninja fruit. Turn your attention to the ninja fruit tree. The second production cycle has also arrived. The tree is filled with 100 fruits again. Lu Shu didn't eat it before, but gave it to Pikachu, so he didn't get this power. But since there was still more, Lu Shu of course chose to eat it by herself. With superpowers, don't be afraid of too many. Take the ninja fruit. Although the taste is barely enough, I still successfully gained the clone technique's power. What will happen if I eat the second ninja fruit? Lu Shu suddenly had this idea. There are still 99 fruits anyway, so it doesn't hurt even if one is wasted. Swallow the second ninja fruit. At this moment, a prompt suddenly popped up. You swallowed ninja fruit X2. Clone technique has been strengthened. Skill. Your clone has 30% of the strength of the original body. Lu Shu was shocked. Swallowing the second fruit can actually strengthen your supernatural abilities. Originally, the clone only had 20% of the original body's strength, but after swallowing the second spiritual energy fruit, the clone's strength had reached 30% of the original body. Can it still be like this? Lu Shu's eyes lit up and he ate the third ninja fruit. The same prompt appears. However, at this time, the clone's strength has reached 40% of the original body. Can it continue to be superimposed? Lu Shu started eating the remaining ninja fruit without hesitation. Clone technique has been strengthened. Clone technique has been strengthened. Finally, the strength of Lu Shu's clone has reached 100% of the original body. It is equivalent to his clone. In terms of combat ability, it is no different from the main body. However, mental power will not be improved as a result, and will continue to be consumed even when using the clone. But in general, by letting the clone act on behalf of your own body, you can avoid even the risk of pet attrition, and you can also engrave the teleportation array. When exploring the gray world in the future, the risk of loss will be reduced to almost zero. What will happen if I take another ninja fruit? This question appeared in Lu Shu's mind. Could it be that the clone's strength will reach more than 100%? Is the clone more powerful than the main body? This is exciting. Thinking of this, Lu Shu immediately swallowed the next ninja fruit. You can use 2 clones at the same time. Awesome. Lu Shu couldn't help but sigh. Originally, the clone could only summon 1, but now it can summon 2. And the strength can reach 100% of the original body. Where is this clone technique? It's like transforming all 3 things into one thing. Swallow 1 more. Unfortunately, no more prompts appeared. This shows that the improvement of the ninja fruit reaches its limit when it reaches the second clone with 100% strength. Crash. At this time, dark clouds suddenly covered the sky. It was sunny just now, and now it suddenly rains again. Lu Shu suddenly remembered something. It's time to dig a channel. In the past, there was only one big basin where Lu Shu stored water, which was not enough. This island has no water source. If an artificial river channel for water storage is not opened, it will be very troublesome. Under normal circumstances, the water quality of such a stored water source would be very poor, containing many impurities, and would not be suitable for human consumption. But, with the Holy Grail, all water sources can be purified into holy water, and these impurities will naturally not be a problem. Lu Shu looked around the island. Around the island, piranha flowers have hatched. There are more than 2,000 piranha flowers in total, stationed at the border of the island. It looks like a densely packed army. Just use piranha to dig artificial rivers. Lu Shu thought in her heart. Give an order. The piranha army started the project vigorously, opening their big mouths and swallowing the soil into their mouths to dig out a river. The abdomen of the piranha is very acidic. After eating the dirt, it can be digested in no time, even eliminating the need to clean up the dirt. Its efficiency is also amazingly fast. 2,000 piranha flowers worked together to create an inland river that could circle the entire island, and it didn't even take half a day. Lu Shu took out the Holy Grail and introduced all the blessed holy water purified in the ghost town into the artificial inland river of the island. Soon, blessed holy water filled the entire river. And these water sources will also penetrate into the land of the island, improving the water and soil environment here. Now, Lu Shu does not need to water the sacred tree every day. The sacred tree can automatically absorb water from the soil and grow. At this time, Lu Shu discovered that a buff appeared on the sacred tree. Absorbing blessed holy water. This status bar replaces the original, absorbing rainwater, status bar. At the same time, the growth rate of the sacred tree has been increased to a certain extent. Growth rate, 12.1 x 100 equals 1,200 per day. Production cycle, 2.5 days 1,100 550ths equals 2. As for the life fruit tree, it only takes half a day to reach its production cycle. Lu Shu began to sit down cross-legged and swallow the spiritual energy fruit. The spiritual energy fruit that he had eaten earlier had been absorbed by now. Next, Lu Shu swallowed several high-level spiritual energy fruits. After half a day of practice, boom, boom, the sounds of several breakthroughs sounded in succession. Lu Shu quickly reached the 3rd level of acquired skills. Open the character panel. Figure, Divine Tree Master, Tree Raider. Powers, Resonance, Teleportation, Clone Technique. Skills, Beginner Carpentry, Intermediate Miner, Advanced Decomposition, Advanced Camouflage. Cultivation Level, Acquired 3rd level. Talents, 100 times increase SSS-Level, Fruit of All Realms SSS-Level, Spring Resurgence SSS-Level. Luck, E. Spirit, B+. Sacred Tree, 1. At this moment, a voice came from Lu Shu's ear. Ding. Your life fruit has reached the production cycle, life fruit plus 100. Place 100 fruits of life under the sacred tree. The next second, a ray of light descends from the sacred tree, nourishing all the fruits of life. Incubation time, 2.5 days. Time has become shorter. Lu Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. It turns out that after the level of the sacred tree is increased, the speed of nourishing and hatching the life fruits will also become faster. Thus, Lu Shu can completely hatch these 100 life fruits before the Grey World invades. At that time, your island will have a huge combat force. Clone technique. Lu Shu thought about it. Immediately afterwards, a handsome young man who looked exactly like himself appeared in front of him. I didn't expect that I'm so handsome. The two Lu Shu looked at each other with expressions of appreciation. This was the first time he saw what he looked like in time travel. In anime, it can be said that it kills all kinds of handsome male protagonists instantly. Next, my clone will continue to explore the gray world. The clone Lu Shu walked to the teleportation array. Anyway, after the clone dies, it turns into a cloud of smoke, and at most it loses part of its mental power, but it can be fully recovered soon. The gray world will invade next. If the main body and Pikachu are allowed to enter the gray world, they may face unknown variables. If they cannot come back, they will be in trouble. The risk is too great. But the clone doesn't matter. A teleportation light curtain fell. The clone Lu Shu reappears in the ghost town. With a thought in his mind, he took out the destiny pointer. Do you want to consume primary soul X1 to give a guide? Yes. The next second, the pointer moved. That's right. Lu Shu used the pointer of destiny to find the source of Mei Li's curse. There may be a more advanced copy there. Although the risk factor is very high, this area of the Living Dead map has been explored. Lu Shu simply moved towards this goal. It's a clone anyway, and I don't need any money even if I die. The most I can do is go exploring. Understanding the intelligence of the gray world will undoubtedly increase your survival rate in the future. Lu Shu's body, on the other hand, left the island behind and continued to absorb the energy of the advanced spiritual energy fruit to increase its own strength. In 3 days, there is still a lot of room for breakthrough. World public screen. Brothers, are there any divine tree masters near the coordinates 11, 12? Let's form a team. Explore the gray world dungeon together and get through the difficulties together. I said, you are all strangers, so you just formed a team casually. If not, in 3 days, the gray world will invade. If we don't form a team at this time, and everyone finds a way to survive together, are we just waiting to die? Who has a good way to explore the gray world? Well, I suggest you go find the yellow-skinned rat. That old man has already followed the yellow-skinned rat and picked up the boss twice in a row for the first kill. A player with the ID, I'm really not a lemon, once again mentioned the yellow-skinned rat. Some people took note of his words. Upstairs, are you talking about the guy whose ID is Tree-Lumping Man? Right, he got the first kill of the boss twice. How could it be such a coincidence that he encountered a yellow-skinned rat again? Sorry, it was such a coincidence, because we saw a yellow-skinned mouse in the ghost town that day. I don't believe it. Are you looking down on others? Believe it or not, see for yourself. System improvement. Divine Tree Master, I'm really not a lemon, sent out a memory video. World Public Screen has a function that few people use, which is memory video. You can put your memories on it for others to see. And someone tried it, so it can't be an imaginary memory. It must be a real memory that has been personally experienced in order to be successfully sent. Of course, it is precisely because of this that many people are reluctant to use this function for fear of exposing their identity information. The memory video sent by I'm really not a lemon immediately attracted everyone's attention. Only seen in the video. In a small town shrouded in mist, a yellow-skinned mouse, with a terrifying light in its eyes, stands in the distance, looking as if it wants to eat people at any time. Holy shit, this is what you call a yellow-skinned mouse, why does it look so scary? Oh my god, I was scared a lot by the zombies in Zombie City a few days ago. Why do I feel like this rat is scarier than the zombies? This is the most leaky rat I have ever seen in my life, bar none. I have been here, and this mouse did appear in the ghost town. Could it be that that old man is really so lucky? Don't tell me, I think it's really possible. This mouse looks like a god of war. It's so hockey. I feel like these ghosts are vulnerable to it. But can a mouse bulldoze a difficult boss? Why do I feel so unlikely? It's time to take some melatonin upstairs to replenish your brain. Didn't someone say that last time? He had seen hundreds of rats in the fog. Sorry, Mr. Rat, I bow to you and apologize. All of a sudden, the yellow-skinned mouse has become one of the biggest mysteries in the God Tree game. Because a player with the ID of Shuren successively passed the yellow-skinned mouse and obtained the first kill of the boss. And this yellow-skinned mouse also got a new title. Rat Guan Gong. Legend has it that as long as you meet Radguan Gong in the Grey World and follow him, you can get the first kill of the boss. Some people also say that Radguan Gong can actually eat people because it looks so scary. Some adventurers exploring in the Grey Fog also began to pay attention to the information about Radguan Gong, and some even bought it at a high price. There is also a team of Sacred Tree Masters who are specifically looking for traces of Radguan Gong. They only hope that this legendary existence in the Grey World can lead him to a first kill. Some people are still in the world's public screen, using 10 years of life in exchange for the opportunity to meet Radguan Gong. However, recently, various gossips have spread all over the sky, but except for the memory video released by I'm Really Not a Lemon, no one has given any specific information about Radguan Gong. Of course Mu Yutingfeng also noticed these words. However, her brows frowned deeply. Could it be that that guy is really so lucky? Mu Yutingfeng may be the only person who not only knows about the yellow-skinned mouse, but also has some understanding of Lu Shu. She thought about it and felt that it might be the other party's good luck. Maybe Radguan Gong is a noble person of Tree Raider. Otherwise, do you admit that you have awakened a fake power? Mu Yutingfeng shook her head. Obviously, this Tree Raider was only judged to have AC+ level ability at the beginning, and he was nothing more than an ordinary cannon fodder. Mu Yutingfeng would not have paid any attention to such a character. But after a period of contact, why does this guy always surprise himself again and again? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.